Hey everybody, I hope this isn't too loud. Yeah, that just mutes it. Let me just leave it on a little bit. So I'm on a time constraint today, or I hope I said that right. I looked it up and it sounds like the right word to use. So this live isn't going to be as long as normally. Usually I try to be live at least like 3-4 hours or whatever with like a bunch of video clips and stuff. But today I am going to cover mainly the stories that I've been talking about lately. I'll go ahead and turn this off. Here we go. And I also wanted to mention that I started up a backup channel. I put the link in the chat. So it's called MissRaeMoody Talks, and I plan to use that channel for panels, like open topics and discussions, but that'll probably happen at a later date. I just want to go ahead and let everybody know sometimes I will be going live over there. Let's see, any more updates on my channel? Not really. Oh, actually, yes. Black and Bougie, if you recall, requested me to cover a story about a little girl named Aisha Degree from North Carolina. I did the research already. I just need to put some stuff into order, kind of reorganize some things. Hi, Queen's Throne. Okay, good, you're modded up. Thank you. So I have that almost ready to go, but I wanted to wait till I resubscribe to StreamYard because it does look more professional. Thanks for sharing the live, Queen. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're having a good day. Check your messages. I don't know if you saw that there's been an update on the Malia Davis case and also with Lori Vallow. I just sent you like a couple of links for you to look at whenever you have a chance. I sent that to your phone. Let's see. So I'll probably, cover the Aisha Degree story sometime in the future. I am still working on it. And for today, though, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the updates. Actually, you know what, Queen? If you stick around, I think I actually added both updates to my playlist. But, yeah, if you want to check your phone, I went ahead and sent those links over to you because it was pretty crazy what happened this week. So let's go ahead and stop sharing this screen and move on over to the playlist that I prepared for us to watch. Alright, so here we are. Alright, so the first one that we're going to look at is from May 19th. We have 15 clips to look at, so it is a shorter live than usual. I usually try to have like at least 30 clips up there. But yeah, so this first one is from May 19th, which was 10 days ago. I think that's about as long as it's been since my last live. That was last Wednesday. It's called The Justice Files Convicted Killer Gets Her Own Platform on Social Media. And that's going to be courtesy of ABC for Utah. So let's go ahead and take a look. 1 second.
A convicted killer, also a social media star, but the Utah Department of Corrections is putting the brakes on her social life from prison. This after Victoria Mendoza appeared on the social media app TikTok. Mendoza is serving up to life in prison for brutally stabbing her girlfriend to death.
For every crime, there's a story, and the truth matters. Here's ABC4 senior crime and punishment correspondent Marcos Ortiz with tonight's Justice Files.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, the Department of Corrections stopped all in-person visitations. Instead, they set up video chat rooms for inmates and their families. But one inmate saw this as an opportunity.
I found out there was a TikTok account, there's a YouTube account, and somehow she's recording them from prison.
For Victoria Mendoza, who in 2015 was convicted of murdering her former girlfriend. She stabbed Tawny Baird 46 times as they sat in a parking lot in Ogden. The motive is unclear. In a YouTube video Mendoza posted before the murder, there's jealousy brewing over Baird's new friend. At her 2015 sentencing, Mendoza never apologized but called herself a monster. But 6 years later, on the social media app TikTok, Mendoza appears on the man as she talks about her dreams. And while on TikTok, she had over 1,000 followers.
I was livid, very, very angry, Marcos. I don't have a video phone to contact my daughter Why should she have one in prison?
Last year, the COVID-19 pandemic forced the prison system to end visitations for inmates. In its place was a video link to allow visitations to continue, but there's a warning to the public. Recordings or taking pictures of the recordings are prohibited. Tawny Baird's family, seen here after Mendoza's sentencing, have seen Mendoza's postings on TikTok and YouTube.
There's no remorse at all, Marcos, on the videos. She thinks she's just an internet sensation superstar.
It's believed Mendoza was video chatting with a friend in Tennessee. The friend allegedly recorded it and uploaded it on TikTok and YouTube. ABC4 contacted the Department of Corrections, which was caught off guard with Mendoza's social media appearances. In a statement, a spokesperson said, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention, as we are not aware of these recordings. The specific situation regarding Ms. Mendoza is being addressed, and the matter is currently under investigation."
I'm not blaming the prison. All I'm saying is shut Victoria Mendoza off. She's a murderer. She's a monster.
It now appears that Mendoza has been blocked by YouTube and TikTok. Whether or not she'll have any future visitations using video chat rooms is unclear. For the Justice Files, Marcus Ortiz, ABC4 News.
All right, before that starts playing, it sounds like they need to keep an... I knew you were going to do that. It sounds like they need to keep an eye on her. She definitely has no business, being on social media. She's a murderer. She took somebody's life away. And it's true. People can't speak to her victim after what she did. She definitely doesn't need to have her own platform. People work really hard to get their shit together and bring themselves, to the point to tell stories and things like that. Like me and Queen's Throne and Raphael Flatplane too has really substantial content to offer, and this chick is just out here still wilding out while she's in jail, which is crazy. Obviously somebody sneaking in a phone to her. Her visitations should be supervised, and as well as her time in a cell. It's just pretty crazy. But I'm really glad that people did bring it to the attention to authorities, I guess, and also to the news so that we can know what's going on. Hi, Danielle Williams. How are you? I just talked to you, but yes, I feel like asking how you're doing now because earlier the chat was lit. That was crazy. Preach said that he was going to try to jump up on the panel, so I was going to go ahead and show some stories while we wait for him to come up. Alright, so this next clip that we're going to take a look at is an update on the Tristan Bailey story. If you weren't here, she was a teenager from the Florida area. She was murdered by one of her classmates, and he has since been arrested. This is an update that happened, I want to say, last week, and then there's going to be another update soon after that. So let's go ahead and start with the earlier one first. This one's called Teen Accused of Killing Tristan Bailey Will Now Be Represented by a Public Defender. And we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about that once the clip is finished. This is going to be courtesy of News4Jax, and there is a skip ad, so just give me 1 second while I get it together. Alright, and unmute. Okay, let's go.
Aiden Fucci, the 14-year-old charged with second-degree murder in the death of 13-year-old schoolmate Tristan Bailey, will now be represented by the public defender's office.
Yeah, Fucci's attorney wanted off the case, and a judge granted that attorney's motion to withdraw. Fucci remains behind bars at a juvenile detention center in Daytona Beach. His parents appeared at the hearing for him today. News4Jax reporter Vic Michelucci was in that courtroom or hearing, I should say, and breaks down what this means for the case. Vic.
Kent, it means the taxpayers are now footing the bill for Aiden Fucci's defense because his parents filed applications showing they don't have enough money to pay for a private attorney for him. His private lawyer, Anwar Snober, has represented him since his arrest, but today he dropped off the case with the parents' permission.
Based on that and the parties not objecting, I'll grant your motion to withdraw at this time.
The judge then moved on to appoint the public defender's office after Fucci's mother and father, Crystal Smith and Jason Fucci, filed paperwork claiming they cannot afford a lawyer for him.
And are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. I'm self-employed, but since Since the company has took it down sports wall.
Okay, so that your company.
Since then, the company has done so. What did he say there? Did anybody get that? I'm gonna replay because that was crazy. Let's try that again.
Sports wall.
Okay.
What? Hold on.
The company has took it down sports wall.
Okay, so that.
I'm thinking he's trying to say on a downward spiral, and then maybe something else at the same time. I don't know. Tell me what you all think. You heard there.
Your company is just your only source of income?
Yes, ma'am.
State records show the elder Fucci runs a lawn service out of Clay County. The mom lives at this home in Durbin Crossing, which is part of the crime scene. She and a man believed to be her husband bought it last year for $560,000.
But they're too poor to afford a lawyer. Okay.
Still, based on the filing, the parents qualify as indigent, and the public defender's office will represent the teen.
Actually, we're going to have a team of attorneys representing Aiden Fucci, and Josh Mosley is going to be lead, but I will certainly be involved all the way through. And we're glad you did that, Your Honor. It's a privilege to represent young Mr. Fucci.
Now,
did he just say that that it was a pleasure to represent young Mr. Fucci? That's crazy. Hi, Stacy. Thank you so much for being here.
there are set state guidelines on what it takes for someone to be declared indigent, and the public defender is a constitutional right for those who cannot afford an attorney. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're
So I guess putting up the house was not an option. How does that even work?
going to talk about this with attorney Gene Nichols, who says this defense will likely cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Kent?
Out of the taxpayers' money. That's insane. All right, let's go ahead and continue. All right, so this next clip that we're going to take a look at is a little bit of an update from a Mr. Not Me Queen. I don't know if you were here or if you saw the video of a man trying to kidnap a little girl, and it was caught on surveillance. He has since been arrested, and he is locked up for now until he sees due process. This is an update on that situation. This is called Girl Who Slimed Alleged Kidnapper, saw it on Law & Order, and this is courtesy of Inside Edition. And this was posted on May 20th. So just give me 1 second while I skip this ad, and then we can get going. Hold on. All right.
The hero youngster who fought off her alleged kidnapper is getting praise today from Law & Order star Mariska Hargitay. "You are one brave, strong, and smart young woman," Mariska told 11-year-old Alyssa Bonal in an Instagram posting. Alyssa not only freed herself, she also smeared the blue slime she was playing with on the suspect's arm as a clue for cops. So, where did she learn that neat trick?
Of course.
Law & Order SVU. With her mother's permission, we caught up with Alyssa after school today in Pensacola, Florida.
You watch episodes of SVU with your mom, right?
Yes.
And that's how you picked up the tricks that you used to get this abductor away from you,
yes.
Right?
She remembered victims leaving clues behind for detectives. Alyssa had the incredible presence of mind to do the same.
I know by putting evidence on the abductor or criminal, they could, the cops or detectives.
Queen says an 11-year-old has IG. Yeah, times have changed, huh?
Could find the person more easier and get more evidence that it was that person.
And when 30-year-old Jared Stangel was arrested, sure enough, he had blue slime on his clothing. In a posting straight to the girl, Mariska writes, Alyssa, first and most important, I am so relieved and grateful to know that you are safe. And I am so honored to be part of your incredible story. I think the SVU squad might have to add slime to their crime-fighting gear. Your #1 fan, Mariska. The little girl's family is thankful she's okay, and that her mature taste in TV shows may have saved her life.
See, and at the time that I heard about the slime, I was thinking that maybe it helped for her to kind of slip away from him, but that's true too. It did help identify him once he was apprehended, so that was good to hear. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue, and I found this clip, and it is very disturbing, and I'm going to go ahead and put up my my disclaimer, which says viewer discretion is advised, serious and emotional information. Well, it was to me anyways. It's called Officers Release Video Related to Ex-Porn Star Accused of Running Over Pastor in Miami Beach. And this is courtesy of WPLG Local 10.
Protecting.
And there is a skip ad, so 1 second please. Okay, this is going to take a bit. Yeah, when I was a kid, there was no way I would have been able to have a social media without everybody stalking me and making a big deal out of things that I didn't think were a big deal. But we'll probably save those type of topics for my other channel, which, by the way, for anybody who didn't catch that, I now have a backup channel. It's called MissRaeMoody Talks. I'll go ahead and put that link back in the chat, so please subscribe. I will go live from that channel from time to time to have open panels and topics, and we can still talk about true crime if everybody's into that, but it most likely won't be like showing videos. It'll just be like chatting. So alright, so let's go ahead and watch this next clip.
Just into the newsroom, showing the moments after a pastor was run over. The driver never stopped at the scene. Local 10's Gio Insignaris is in the newsroom with more on this.
Nicole, Noah Aguilar spent more than a week in a coma after being hit by a car while riding his bike on the MacArthur Causeway back in late March. Now we're seeing the events of that night from the officer's perspective. Let's walk through some of that video. First, you can see officers arriving to the Continuum condo building on South Beach. That's where investigators say the alleged driver, Catherine Colabella, left her car with a valet before heading up. Management noticed something was off, alerted police. Here we see the car, a Mercedes with significant damage on the windshield. After the officers take a look at the car and talk with staff, a tow truck is called to get that car out. Now let's move to some more body cam footage, this time from the scene of the hit and run, showing officers holding off traffic while the victim is being treated there on the ground, eventually putting him on a stretcher and taking him to the hospital. The last piece of new footage includes a look at the suspect, Colabella, at the Miami Beach Police Department the next day, where police say she went to ask about why her car was towed. Now, according...
Okay, so you saw how her car ended up, right? Let's take a look at that for those of you who missed it. That's how her car ended up after how Queen's Throne so elegantly put it, a scripper ran over a passa. And look at it, right on, I mean, you could tell there's a bump right here, like on the, or the dent on the hood, and then obviously the windshield is shattered. And then she goes to the police station to ask why her car was taken away. Alright, let's continue. I want to say I ended up where they showed her, which was here. Okay.
This piece of new footage includes a look at the suspect, Colabella, at the Miami Beach Police Department the next day, where police say she went to ask about why her car was towed. Now, according to police, Colabella confessed to running over Aguilar and leaving him on the street. Aguilar suffered a head injury from the crash that day. He underwent surgery and doctors placed him in a medically induced coma. Eventually, he was able to wake up and talk with his family. Meanwhile, Colabella is facing 2 felony charges of reckless driving with serious bodily injury and leaving the scene of an accident involving serious bodily injury. Nicole, Louis?
Okay, Gio, thank you for that.
Yes, thank you for that. I hope that they throw the whole library at her. That's crazy. I mean, forget that he's a pastor or whatever. He's still a human being. And I mean, I'm not sure at this time if she was under the influence of anything, but I mean, you gotta know when somebody bounces off the hood of your car and onto your windshield, and she just kept driving, and that's despicable, heinous, and no regard for human life. You know what, I'm just gonna stop right there. Alright, so we're gonna continue on to the next clip, which looks like it has a skip ad, so now would be a good time to skip it. And this is a situation that happened last week at a restaurant, and it involves a very young teenager and a couple, and they met under some interesting circumstances. It's called 14-Year-Old Gives Birth and Hands Baby to Customer at a Restaurant, and this is courtesy of 6 ABC Philadelphia. Let's take a look.
All right, now to the story that could have had a tragic ending if not for one woman who was in the right place at the right time.
A teenage mom abandons her newborn at a restaurant and placed the baby right into the path of a customer who could certainly help.
Alicia here now with the details on this story. Heartbreaking on one portion, but then some bit of hope just the same, Alicia.
All of that and all of those emotions caught on camera in Jersey City, where a 14-year-old girl walks into a restaurant, hands her newborn baby to a customer, and then walks right out.
A woman hands her the baby and she runs.
All she asked for was help, and that
You don't have to take it off. You could cover it. I mean, it's not the same people right now in my live stream that are going to be in your live stream. You never know. Maybe, somebody else hasn't seen it. You don't have to take it off your list. If, that's just my opinion. Do what you want to do, but that's just what I think.
she had found an abandoned baby.
Well, that's what she said, the 14-year-old. She claimed she found the baby, who still had a portion of the umbilical cord attached. But indeed, it was her own child, and she was handing her off. Elise Scott was having lunch. She could tell the baby was having trouble breathing.
I said, do you mind if I check the baby's vitals? So she readily handed the baby over to me. And so my focus went right onto the baby. Once I applied the oxygen mask to the baby, all of a sudden we heard the most beautiful cry, and the baby started moving. She slightly opened up her eyes and then she closed her eyes, but the sweetest thing was when she got hungry and she was trying to suckle on the oxygen mask. So we knew she was okay after that.
Oh, she's so well spoken too. I really appreciate how she's able to tell the story so eloquently like that. I found it just really heartbreaking though. I have a thing for abandoned babies. So yeah, this was a really difficult story to find out about.
Baby. Police found the 14-year-old mother. She's not facing charges. The baby is doing well and she'll be put up for adoption. And New Jersey officials reminding everyone that they do have a safe haven law, which allows newborns to safely be dropped off at hospitals or police or fire stations. But in this case, Elise, that good Samaritan, helping resuscitate that baby, and she's doing good.
Before the next clip plays, I did do a little bit of research on this story. You're right, that Queenstone, that could have gone really bad. We've definitely have seen crazy stories of new moms that dispose of their newborn babies and hurt. See, who told you to play? Nobody told you to play. In horrific ways, and New Jersey has a safe haven law, so she was covered. I'm not sure if she was aware of that, if it mattered to her, but I did do a little bit of research after the fact, and the lady that helped out in the situation said that she would be completely happy to be the baby's godmother after they got adopted. So that was really sweet. She does still want to stay in the baby's life. So hopefully the baby goes to a really good, happy, loving family, because that was a close call, definitely. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue. This next clip is again about Aiden Fucci, who we just saw a clip about. The last one was about him somehow being eligible to be represented by a public defender courtesy of the taxpayers, and this is an update on what Tristan Bailey went through on her side, and this is called State Attorney Tristan Bailey stabbed 114 times, and this was posted 2 days ago and is courtesy of News4Jax. So let's take a look at this clip after this skip ad.
The local breaking news is from the state attorney's office. Disturbing new information in the case against Aiden Fucci, the 14-year-old accused of killing Tristan Bailey. Prosecutors say Fucci stabbed the cheerleader 114 times. Fucci will now be tried as an adult on a first-degree murder charge.
And moments ago, the Bailey family released a statement saying they appreciate the thorough and comprehensive work that went into today's outcome. Fucci is being held at a juvenile facility in Daytona. He's being represented by the public defender's office. Bailey's body was found on Mother's Day near a retention pond in the Durbin Crossing subdivision, less than a half-mile from Fucci's home. News4Jax reporter Vic Michelucci was at the news conference with the state attorney, which just wrapped up about 30 minutes ago. Vic.
Kent and Mary, I also got my hands on the warrant here, the warrant for first-degree murder charges. Before we go any further, I do want to say one more time, the details here are disturbing. Talking to State Attorney R.J. Larrizza, he said horrific could be seen as an understatement in this case. He has been working in this jurisdiction for decades, and he says he's never covered or had to work something as horrible as this. So let's go into the details that he released with us. 114 stab wounds. That's what the medical examiner found during the autopsy on Tristan Bailey's body. 49 of those wounds were defensive. Now, we were there about a day later when detectives found the knife that investigators say was used in this murder in a pond. We have that exclusive video. I was there personally. This was about 7:30 in the evening when the dive team with St. Johns County Sheriff's Office pulled that knife out. Today, for the first time, we learned from the state attorney that it was a folding knife. So a buck knife is how he called it, almost like a large pocket knife. He also said that the tip broke off. That tip was found during the autopsy with the medical examiner. Just one of many horrific details. We also learned that there was
I don't know if he's going to cover this, but when I was reading an article about this situation, so you know how he said that the tip was broken off, they found it in her body. I don't know if he was going to say that.
a lot of evidence, including bloody clothes and bloody shoes at Aiden Fucci's home. That home right around the corner from where Tristan Bailey's body was found in the woods, which happened.
Danielle Williams says, I don't feel bad for him. I'm glad he's being charged as an adult. Me too. But I did want to mention that apparently where they live, if you are a minor, even if you are charged as an adult, you're going to avoid the death penalty. So I want to say, you know, it just depends on how you feel about the death penalty, but the way I see it is he killed someone. And on top of that, I'm not too sure if they're going to cover this on this news clip, but I did read that apparently Aiden was telling his friends that he was getting ready to kill someone, and nobody said anything. So they're looking into who could have known that he was going to do that and didn't say anything, so there might be more charges soon with that.
Happened to be right next to that pond where the dive team recovered that knife. That home, also part of the crime scene. Detectives cased that for more than a day. Now, R.J. Larrizza, the state attorney for St. Augustine, says he is disturbed, he is horrified by the details, and there is no doubt in his mind or anyone else on the case that this is first-degree premeditated murder.
The bottom line is that premeditation could be inferred, certainly, from just the sheer number of stab wounds that Tristan Bailey had to suffer. Every time that arm went back and every time that arm went down, that was premeditation. And it happened, if you times 114 by 2, that's 228. But it's not just the fact that she was stabbed 14 times, or 114 times. It's also information that we were able to glean from witnesses. The defendant made statements to several people that he intended to kill someone. He didn't say who that was, but he indicated to witnesses that he was going to kill someone by taking them in the woods and stabbing them, which are certainly the facts of this case.
And that news conference where we learned the new details came out. Lasted for about 15 minutes. R.J. Larissa, the state attorney, as well as the chief detective, Detective Skip Cole, they were very open about the case, but they did not elaborate on the motive. They said they're still working on that. They're still trying to find out what happened leading up to this horrific murder. As far as Aiden Fucci, the 14-year-old behind all of this, according to investigators, right now he
Queenstone says, get your facts right, Mr. Officer. No kidding, 114 times is a big difference from 14 times.
He is at a Department of Juvenile Justice facility 2 counties south of us at Daytona Beach. But now that he is charged as an adult and he is charged with first-degree murder, he is going to be transferred to an adult facility. We don't know if that's going to be here at the St. Johns County Jail, which is a block away from where I am standing, or if it's going to be somewhere else because of his safety and because of the notoriety of the case. But they say that they will let us know. He is going to be rearrested on that first-degree murder charge. He will be booked into jail. He's going to go before a judge once again, and that'll probably happen within the next day. So we will keep you posted on that, as well as the other big developments in this case. For now, we are live in St. Augustine. I'm Vic Michelucci, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Vic. And Tristan Bailey's family issued a statement following today's update on the case. We each have copies of it, and we're going to read it to you. It says, we appreciate that today's outcome is directly the result of the thorough and comprehensive work from the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, along with the 7th District State Attorney's Office, as part of the initial steps to bring justice for Tristan's murder. We would specifically like to recognize the Criminal Investigations Unit of the SJSO. We greatly appreciate the tremendous community outpouring from all parts of the world, particularly for those in St. John's that have helped from the Mother's Day search, the vigils, remembrances, and memorials, with the press conference sharing details of this heinous crime, the caring and love shown from the people and businesses to raise up the memory of Tristan and the resolve of our community serves as a beacon of light in the darkness. As shared in the celebration of life on the Battle of the Two Wolves, it helps us to feed the good wolf.
They go on to say, we also would like to thank the Jacksonville media for respecting our privacy while we mourn the loss of Tristan. A special thanks to News4Jax for live streaming the celebration of life to enable people globally to observe the service. We do ask for your continued respect for our privacy, as well as of Tristan's teammates and her school. And as we move forward, we will seek to keep Tristan's memory alive and the spirit of the community. And they sign it, our thanks, the Bailey 7. Of course, our hearts go out to the families and the community so hurt by this tragedy.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll continue following this. We'll bring you any new developments as they come out.
Okay, that's very upsetting to hear. I don't want to say he reached out to people, but he was telling people. I want to say that his friends should have known what he was capable of. Maybe not. But when somebody says things like, I'm going to kill someone, I'm going to take them out to the woods and all this, it's just really sad because it seems like Tristan trusted him. She went for a walk with him in the middle of the night. I don't know if he lured her out or what happened. He took her to the woods, he killed her, and then he took his shoes off. I guess he thought he had it all figured out. I guess he figured if his shoes were not on, there'd be no footprints or whatever, but surveillance saw them walking to that area together and then him coming back by himself, and then after that they were able to locate his clothes that he was wearing, which had blood on it. So in my mind, case closed, he did it, but due process and whatnot. And I just think it's really unfair that his parents get to, keep their houses and make the taxpayers foot the bill for the representation of what I consider to be a demonic child. Queenstone says they're gonna love him in prison. It's what he wanted. I mean, how does your thought process go from killing someone to not only killing someone but telling people about it? Obviously he wasn't going to be able to keep his mouth shut. it was gonna catch up to him eventually, and I honestly would not be surprised if sometime down the road they try to go for some kind of like incompetent to stand trial, you know, whatever the other one is. I forgot the name, but you know what I mean, like too crazy to face the consequences. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Okay, so now we're down to our last 9 clips, and the next case, most of us here are very aware of the Malia Davis case. If not, I was able to locate a timeline of events. It's okay, Queen's Throne, I get you. It happens. Sometimes I can't even talk right. But so I was able to locate a clip that had a timeline of events, and it's yeah, mentally incompetent to stand trial. There's okay, I'll leave it at that. But I want to say that there's another term. Criminally insane, I think. Like guilty, but like criminally insane or whatever, I want to say is the other one I was trying to think of. But yeah, alright, so let's go ahead and watch this timeline of events. It's only 1 minute and 40 seconds long, so I believe it's gonna skip a lot of information, but Queen's Throne is here, and she has impeccable coverage on her channel. Queen, I don't know if you want to drop the link, because I don't remember which channel you did your Malia Davis coverage on, so if you want to put that in the chat for future you know, people that are gonna rewatch, maybe they'll want to go check that out. So let's go ahead and watch this real quick. It's called Malia Davis Case, a timeline of events, and this was posted 2 days ago and is courtesy of KHOU 11.
Malia Davis captured people's hearts across the country, and it's a story we've been following closely ever since. Sherman Chow now walks us through a timeline of how this tragic case unfolded.
The last time police know Malia was seen alive was on April 30th, 2019. A neighbor's surveillance camera captured her and her stepfather, Darian Vance, outside their apartment 4 days later.
Okay, so far they already skipped the part where Malia Davis had been, I will call it abused. However, I think officially they considered it an accident, but she had gone through surgery on her head. Like they say she fell from her chair or something like that, but looking at everything that happened afterwards, I'm convinced that she had been being abused. Okay, Queen's Throne went ahead and put the link there. That link is also, like, if you type it out, because I don't know if you're going to be able to see it afterwards, but if you type it out and put it in your browser, that will take you to her channel, and you can find the most information from there, not only from news clips but also from other social media platforms. So yes, so now this isn't the first time. There has been a history of abuse involving Malia, so I just wanted to get that clear. This is not the first time.
Events outside their apartment 4 days later. Police say that same camera caught him leaving with a laundry basket and a trash bag. The next day, HPD was notified that Malia Davis was missing. Vance reported he was attacked and the 4-year-old kidnapped. On May 11, 2019, police arrested Vance for tampering with evidence, namely a human corpse. He reportedly refused to cooperate with detectives. Then, more than 2 weeks later, 300 miles away in Arkansas, a crew picking up litter found a suspicious black garbage bag. They thought it was an animal, so a supervisor told them to leave it. May 31st, 2019, we're told Juanel X did what no one else could. He reportedly got Darian Vance to say where Malia's body was. That afternoon, the remains were found in Arkansas and flown back to Houston. On June 3rd, 2019, the medical examiners made a positive identification. They confirmed Malia Davis had officially been found.
Now, we have a special section on our website dedicated to Malia Davis and the investigation into her death. Everything from memorials to dedications and court updates. To read more and take a look back, just head on over to KHOU.com/Malia Davis.
If you're a Texas homeowner.
Okay, I just wanted to mention real quick because Queen's Throne does have the most information on this case. She's very dedicated on her coverage. She says allegedly she fell off a chair, failed to get medical attention to wear the helmet she was supposed to wear to protect her brain. And she also says, I heard he got a plea deal for 40 years. Yes, we're getting to that part. But yeah, that's the update. Unfortunately, I'm not happy with it. I don't know what you think, Queen's Throne, but let's continue. This next clip is also oh yeah, I was also going to mention that Quanell X is still representing himself as new Black Panther Nation, so I don't know if Emmanuel is still around. Maybe now would be a good time to reach out to him. Maybe he'll have some insight on what's really going on. He has been helpful in the past. I'm not sure, how that's going right now. Okay, so the next clip we're going to watch is man accused of killing Malia Davis pleads guilty. And this was posted 2 days ago as well and is courtesy of KPRC to Click to Houston. Let's take a look.
New details now about the death of Malia Davis. The 4-year-old's disappearance captivated the nation 2 years ago. Her remains were eventually discovered in a trash bag on an Arkansas highway. Now the man arrested in connection to her death has learned his fate. Darion Vance was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Our Taisha Walker's live now in Southwest Houston with an update on today's announcement. Taisha.
Lauren, a judge sentenced Vance to 40 years for injury to a child and 20 years for tampering with the body of a corpse. That's a total of 60 years, but because those two prison sentences will be served at the same time, he'll only serve 40 years behind bars, time some say isn't long enough. Darion Vance will spend 40 years in prison. Today, the 28-year-old pleaded guilty to tampering with a corpse and injury to a child in relation to the death of 4-year-old Malia Davis, 2 years to the month. Vance was dating Malia's mother, Brittany Bowen.
What he did to that beautiful angel, young Malia Davis.
You see that, Queen? It says leader of the new Black Panther Nation. Yeah, I know, I can't believe it's been 2 years. That means we've been friends for 2 years. Because that's how I ended up finding your channel, Queen. Remember?
40 years does not equal what she suffered and what she went through.
Quanell X says Vance confessed to him 2 years ago that he hurt Malia.
He got angry at Brittany, and when the baby kept asking him about Brittany, he struck Malia in the head. He punched her in the head. When she failed.
Have we heard this information before? I want to say this is like the first time I've heard this part for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's been a while, but I want to hear that part again, because according to Quanell, this is what Darion confessed to him that one time. So let's hear that again. Okay.
He got angry at Brittany, and when the baby kept asking him about Brittany, he struck Malia in the head. He punched her in the head. When she fell, she began to convulse, I believe having a seizure, and she was bleeding from her ears and bleeding from her nose. And at that point is where he strangled the beautiful young baby. He killed her.
A surveillance photo showed Vance hauling a laundry basket and trash bag near his Southwest Houston apartment. We later learned that was Malia's body, which was dumped off of an Arkansas road. Vance initially told investigators Malia was kidnapped by unknown men, but Quanell X got him to reveal the location of Malia's body.
Because of the decomposition of the body and how long her body had been out in that field and the elements, the medical examiner's office never would have been able to prove with science to a T the actual cause of death.
Quanell X says Malia's mother knew about prior abuse to Malia by Vance.
Did you help cover it up? And she started crying. And she said, yes, he didn't want to go to jail, and I didn't want to see him go to jail.
Right. That's what Quanell X says, if you believe him. But yes, he said it right there, that she knew and she covered it up because she didn't want to see him go to jail. Now, if we all can recall, it didn't become a problem until allegedly she went through his phone, through Darion Vance's phone, and found him sharing pictures of his genitals to men. And that's when she changed her mind and decided that she needed to speak up about the prior abuse and what happened to Malia. So let's hear that again. I want to say it's like right here.
And she started crying. And she said, yes, he didn't want to go to jail, and I didn't want to see him go to jail.
Both Quanell X and a cousin of Malia's on her dad's side that I spoke with earlier today say they'll never truly have justice for Malia until they say Malia's mother, Brittany, serves time behind bars for her role. Reporting live in Southwest Houston, Taisha Walker, KPRC 2 News.
Protecting what...
That's one thing we can all agree on. Definitely, Brittany needs to see her day in court, if you will, or something needs to happen because she's just as responsible. I have no idea why that's just coming out now. This is like something I feel like we need to look more into, because you know by now the cousin, I forgot her name, but I think her last name is Mendoza. I want to say that she's already spoken out somewhere, but I mean I'm not privy to like where she's at in social media. I know we had issues with her in the past, so I doubt we're gonna be able to get her cooperation. But I mean, she's out there saying things, so who knows? Maybe she's saying stuff now. That other guy too, I don't remember his name. I'm not even gonna try. But I think there's more research that needs to be done now that this case has, come to light again. There's probably more stuff that's being said out there, so we definitely need to keep an eye out on that. Yes, Queen, that's what you're really, really good at. I like to look at like news clips and stuff like that. It's very easily accessible to me, but when it comes to like other social media platforms, I'm kind of at a loss as to like how to look and things like that. So I count on you to share that type of information. So I'll definitely be looking forward to that, and I think everybody should too. Hey Preach, how's it going? I'm like down to 8 clips. If you want to jump up on the panel, let me know, but we're just about almost done here. Alright, so this next clip is going to be an update as far as Aiden Fucci again. I went ahead and arranged the playlist so that it was in order by the date or the time that it was released. So it might seem a little scattered, but it's actually there is a method to this. Let me go ahead and drop the link for Preach so he could come through with his power of positivity. We'll can wait for him because this next clip is like 4 minutes. Okay, so this is called Aiden Fucci in Duval County Jail charged with first-degree murder. So this is the update when they made it official that he will be charged as an adult. This was posted yesterday and is courtesy of News4Jax. So I'll go ahead and play the video while we wait for Preach to come on up. And this is going to be a little bit of a ad. Almost done. Alright, let me pause this and let Preach up. Hey!
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Let me know if you can hear me well because my mic has issues and I have to adjust it sometimes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Alright, because sometimes my sound is super low. I don't know where that comes from, but whatever. Anyway.
It happens. The chat can also let us know how it sounds for them. I don't know if it's different for them than it is for me, but to me, you're good.
Okay.
Alright, cool. So, go ahead.
It sounds a little bit choppy, though. Does it sound choppy for you?
Not to me.
I'm gonna come back in.
Okay. Well, go ahead and play this clip in the meantime.
Live from the local station, News4Jax starts now.
They came in crazy.
Aiden Fucci, the 14-year-old charged with first-degree murder in the killing of a 13-year-old neighbor and schoolmate, is now in the juvenile wing of the Duval County Jail. This video is...
Do you want to try saying something?
We good now. I was just my audio was choppy before, but we good.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and continue playing the clip.
Yeah.
Of his first court appearance since being charged yesterday as an adult. This is Fucci's new mugshot.
And this morning, a St. Johns County judge ordered him held without bond, which is almost automatic in first-degree murder cases. Investigators say Fucci stabbed Tristan Bailey to death and left her body in a wooded area in the
He stabbed her 114 times.
Yeah, that's a crime of passion. They're probably gonna plead insanity for this kid.
That was my prediction earlier as well.
Crossing neighborhood. News4JAX reporter Vic Nicolucci is joining us outside the jail downtown. Vic, did Fucci show any emotion during his appearance?
Mary, it did not appear that he showed any emotion. If you remember watching his first appearance in juvenile court a couple of weeks ago, he was tearful, appeared to be sobbing.
All right.
Today, not at all. Standing there, only telling the judge, yes, sir, as he learned the charge, as well as his possible fate if he's convicted, which is up to life in prison. And tonight, he's behind us at the Duval County Jail.
You have been indicted by the St. Johns County Grand Jury on the charge of first-degree premeditated murder.
14-year-old Aiden Fucci made his first appearance before a judge in adult court this morning, now charged with first-degree murder.
Do you understand the charge against you?
Yes, sir.
Judge Howard Maltz pointed out that Fucci faces up to life in prison if he's convicted, but not the death penalty. Since his arrest on May 10th, Fucci has been at this juvenile state facility in Daytona Beach. Now that he's being prosecuted as an adult, the 14-year-old has been transferred to the Duval County Jail at the request of the St. Johns County Sheriff. This comes a day after the state attorney released the gruesome details of Tristan Bailey's murder.
Well, I hope that parents will realize that teenagers are capable of things we have never imagined they could be. In this case is an example.
Go ahead.
You see, you can watch things all the way through, but when I hear I have to, like, I don't know if you ever watch me review videos, but I have to talk my shit. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this man is what is he? He is what is he? A police commissioner or something? What is he? The chief?
He's some kind of official.
Yeah. So he works in police crimes. Child crimes. This isn't the first time things like this have happened. They said Adam Lanza was 14, right?
I think so.
See, this is not a new thing. He's saying it as if people don't understand that young kids are capable of this. I mean, I would just love what's coming next. I don't know if he's gearing up to say something else. I don't know.
I wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay, I wanted to mention real quick though, Queen Stone said, I'm sure he was in love with her and she treated him and he got mad and killed her. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. She was popular, she was like head cheerleader or something like that. She was very active in her community. I'm guessing very responsible, good grades. I mean, you have to have good grades in order to be in like sports and stuff like that. And he looks like he doesn't give a shit at all. No, I don't want to be judgmental, but yeah.
I think y'all are right. I think Queen Stone is right. I think you're right. I was thinking, I was trying to make it make sense in my head because I was like, playing out the events. The way he looks like a type of kid who would never really be around a girl like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if she was being nice and he was like, he needed like help with something and lured her somewhere. You need a certain amount of time to stab someone that many times.
I think she trusted him because what happened is she left home in the middle of the night to walk with him, and I guess they were having a walk, and he led her to a secluded area close to where they both live. Apparently they were neighbors, not neighbors, but they lived in the same neighborhood. He leads her out there and stabs her 114 times. They reported earlier that the tip of the knife he used was missing, the very tip.
It broke off.
Yeah, in her. They found it in her. So, yeah, he was very aggressive with her. And then, when it came to killing her, and then he took his shoes off and then walked back home. So I guess he thought that no footprint, no shoe print or whatever, and he was going to be able to get away with it. But little did he know there was surveillance cameras that were recording him with her and then walking back without her. And then after that, they searched his home and found bloody clothes, and then eventually got some type of confession.
So she was being, and so once again, I'm trying to. If they lived in the same neighborhood, I'm just thinking like what got. Maybe she was doing it because she was like, oh, this kid, he just wants to go on a walk. He probably has no friends or something. I'm thinking that's how she might have been thinking. if she was like an athlete and a good student, because you can't really go down the other road where he's like, oh, it's some drugs over here at this party, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we kind of tell it wasn't that, you know. So that, I don't know, he that's sad, like, cause she was probably doing it out of the goodness of her heart, you know, like probably was not expecting it. And,
Right. She definitely trusted him.
Yeah, and he looks a little smaller as a guy, and she's an athlete.
Yes.
And but that just goes to show the male female just the way we're built. We
She
have
had her guard down.
Right, she had her guard down, and he had a weapon. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So even and to stab someone that many times, you know, the person that does the autopsy, they could tell by the direction of the stab wounds if the person was fighting. Like if they have the scars on their arms, they could tell if they were going like this. Yeah. So if she was probably fighting. She probably tried to run. He's a that in his mind. And the sad thing is, in his mind, it's justified because he felt a sense of entitlement to her or whatever he felt she should you know, give him or something. And like Queen Stone said, it's probably a love thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's sad. That's real sad.
I think I agree with
Yeah.
Queen's Throne's comment here. She says she friend zoned him. He probably did not like that. And another thing is apparently leading up to him actually doing that, he was telling people and his friends that he was getting ready to kill someone in the woods, and I guess they didn't take him seriously. And then he did.
So this is premeditated. He really
Yes.
can't. He wouldn't be able to plead insanity on that one. He had days and days to think about it and plan it. They're gonna charge him as an adult probably.
They did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes. All right, let's continue.
Among the most shocking points, he says Fucci stabbed Bailey 114 times and told his friends weeks earlier that he was planning to murder someone. People are questioning his mental health, his competency. Is that going to come up in this case?
His mental health will be brought up to see whether or not he's competent to stand trial.
Attorney Gene Nichols is analyzing the case for us. He says no matter how heinous the crime may be, the Supreme Court ruled that minors cannot face the death penalty. Do you see a conviction and a life sentence here based on the facts of the case?
I see both. I see that based upon the facts that we know thus far, if he is competent and he is able to stand trial, then you will see a conviction for first-degree murder.
And I
You
just
look like
checked
he'll read
the
a
jail
bit
website
real
for
quick.
the Duval County Pretrial Detention Facility. He is still being held without any bond. He is expected to go back before a judge in the next week or so. That's going to be for his arraignment. However, right now a date and time has not been set, but you can trust us to let you know when that's going to happen. We're live.
Trust me too.
Downtown, I'm Vic Micolucci, Channel 4, the local station.
Because you were there yesterday, the state attorney said Fucci talked with other kids about planning to kill someone weeks before Tristan Bailey's
Oh my
death.
God,
but
that man looks
they
like a
kept this to
vampire.
themselves. Could those friends that he told
The one on the left?
yeah, he looks like an old vampire. You know the ones that live for like 10,000 years?
It's just time already.
Go into the
Black-
sun, it's over. It's over, it's done.
Just kill yourself. Hi, Black D Spider. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let me just finish off this clip
that
here.
two face any charges?
Well, the state attorney said he was disappointed and he is looking at any possibilities in this case. And he said he's going to hold everybody accountable if they are criminally responsible. We don't know about any charges. We know that none have been filed right now. And when I took that question to Gene Nichols, because so many people have been asking me that over the past 24 hours, he said right now, looking at the case, while it certainly is questionably moral, he doesn't see any legal reason that these children would legally be obligated to report those statements made by Aiden Fucci before. So right now, he doesn't see any legal reason for charges, but the state attorney's looking into every and any angle.
Vic, thank you. Vic Micolucci reporting live from downtown.
Resume Now is America.
All right, so even if he did tell anybody that he planned on killing someone, nobody was obligated to report
Oh,
it.
yeah. Right. I mean, and he told other kids probably, and the way kids are nowadays, they're like, oh, what the fuck are you saying? They probably started roasting him, and like, you're being weird, dog. And you know, when you're young, even crazy or not, like, if you have a group of friends to even talk to, you're gonna, if you have any kind of sense of anxiety, like, or depression or some kind of mental situation that would push you to doing that to someone, like, you're gonna, you know, retract. You know, a lot of people do that. They'll speak their real thoughts, kind of like a cry out for help. You know, because if you're truly demented and you're truly cold and calculating, he wouldn't have told nobody that shit. He would have just acted normal. He would have tried to act as normal as possible so no one would expect him, and he would have planned better. So, but that's all chalked up to him being young and stupid. You know, but I feel like maybe people saying stuff like that out loud is like a cry for help. In the hood. When if two dudes really want to fight each other, they'll find a secluded area where no one is, and they'll just fight. They won't scream and holler and they just going catch a fade, and then dap it up, and because that's what they really wanted to do. But people that, you know, don't want to catch the fade, they're gonna make a situation. They're gonna make sure they screaming and yelling, attracting all this attention, putting a life insurance policy on themselves. You know what I mean? Because it's really a cry for help. It's like, hey man, this nigga over here trying to fight me. I don't want to fight him. That's all I hear when I hear the screaming. So I feel like it was a cry for help for the kid. Because if someone would have told anyone that, if someone would have told their parent that, if someone would have texted any adult, you know, that would listen, that they would have automatically said, who is this kid? And if they already knew who the kid was, because trust me, adults watch children and they know the trouble ones. I was a trouble one. I was one of those kids that was like, we might not want to let him back over here again. You know what I mean? I was that kid. Housebroken, little rascal, you know what I mean? Doing whatever. So I understand, but that mentality I don't understand. Somebody should have told an adult. But they're not obligated, like you said.
Yeah, I was kind of equating it to when somebody says they're going to kill themselves and then they don't. But then every time something bad happens, they threaten that they're going to do that, so people start taking them less and less seriously, maybe.
Yeah. You think it was a cry wolf situation? You think he talked like that all the time to his friends and they were just
maybe.
Like, fuck? Maybe he did. Maybe.
Or maybe he was consistently a strange kid that would say crazy shit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's like Queen says, I hope there's a trial that we can watch so we can find out more. But I'm not too sure how that works with minors, even if they are charged as adults. Hey,
look, I tell my girl all the time, if I say certain things to you, I'm out of my mind. There's certain things I should not be saying to you if I'm in my right mind. So if I say certain things to you, pick something up heavy and hit me with that shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not in my right. I'm not in my right mind. I should not be doing certain things, you know. And I don't know. That's why I said I don't know where the disconnect was. I guess in any time period that could happen. You know, people talk about what they're gonna do to people all the time, and I don't know.
I definitely don't want to. I don't want to give him excuses, but it looks like his parents were divorced. And well, yeah.
At least they were together. At least he had them. So yeah, that's really not an excuse. I never met my dad. You feel me? My situation with my peoples was real messed up. I moved around a lot as a kid. Like I could have went left. You know what I mean? I could have went way left. So many opportunities to go left, but I didn't. So, you know, at that point, it's like, you know, you got to call his character into question. You know, you want to do big guy stuff. You know, you big guy consequences.
His upbringing. I want to know what's up with the parents, because they're not even wanting to, in their own way, pay the consequences. They have, one of them lives in a big house with her new husband, and the father has his own business, but now he's claiming since this happened, I'm guessing he's losing business, so neither one of them wanted to pay for an attorney. So the taxpayers are going to foot the bill, even though they're going to, at the end of the day, go home to their nice big houses. They're indigenous. They're indigent, or whatever that word is.
Well, I mean, they gave birth to this child. This child was their responsibility, and you know, they seem, like you just said, they seem like money's not a huge issue in his life. I think it might have just been attention and time. Because if a grown man, especially a dad, sits down with a kid and explains to him like how like the world works a little bit, and it's like, yo, it's gonna be some women out there that are not gonna fuck with you off face value. You know, like that's something you have to accept. But that's why we have a capitalist economy. You know, you can make $1 billion at 15. You know, if you invent something, or if you think of something that nobody thought of first, and it hits on social media and blows up, you'll make it at least a hot 50K. You know, off something that goes viral. You know, but maybe the dad just was like, but I think both parents might have just accepted that the kid was weird. They might have just isolated their son and just threw money and video games and shit at him, thinking that that would raise him.
That's sad.
Parents definitely missed a step, I feel, and they didn't pay for the lawyer. They don't believe in that kid. If they believed in that kid, they would have paid for some kind of legal aid. And the fact that he got up there and just said yes sir, like he completely accepted it, like he was like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah. You know? And what was annoying to me was that the system allowed them to do that, even though they had nice houses and businesses and stuff like that. They went along with their wishes.
I mean, what do you mean by the system?
Well, it had to be, I don't know if it's the court system or what, but they had to submit an application to get approved to be considered indigent, and then get a public defender to represent him.
I see what you're saying. We definitely need some kind of, not laws, because laws are different than statutes. We need like some kind of statute that says that if your child that lived under your roof and you're responsible for does something like this, and you have the means to provide it, you should have to provide legal aid, because you brought this person into the world. You had this person in your care with more than enough means to raise them properly. You see what I'm saying? To the point where things like this will have a smaller chance. I'm not saying it would never happen, but I'm just saying have a smaller chance of happening. I feel like the parents should be obligated to do that. Yeah. No matter what the circumstance. Now, if the kid ran away and lived in a cult for 4 years and got caught eating children with a group of people, then that's different. But no, this kid they woke up in one of your houses. Did you say good morning to him? Did you ask him how yesterday was? Did you, I think if anyone would have paid him any attention, he would have come out and said, I am crazy in love with this girl. I'm going to kill her because she doesn't want to be with me. I think he would have told someone that. Honestly, if it slipped out and he told his friends, if someone who was one of his parents would have just asked him, if they would have asked him, hey, how you feeling today? Just a small question, small gesture. I think they would have got enough out of him to say, okay, you're not going to school today. I'm not working today. Fuck my business. My son is about to kill somebody. You know what I mean? Like, the love couldn't be there with parents like that.
Like, I'm wondering what his room looked like, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, probably dirty. Probably Xbox or a PS5 on his little gaming desk. You know, I got my little setup. He probably got like a PS5, and you know that's probably the only thing that's semi-clean. You know, I'm pretty sure they threw money at the kid. His face, it looked like he had acne. You know what I mean? I'm not rich. My girl, make sure I wipe my face with these. I'm not even rich. But my girl be like, you gotta wipe your face with Stridex pads because you got oily skin. Alright, bet. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's like a neglect. I was watching an episode of Law and Order SVU. Me and my girl, we started marathoning it because she never seen it. So we're on like season 3, because they're long episodes. But it was one episode where, I think the daughter was scamming dudes with a baby. She went to a scientist that collect sperm, like of important dudes that make that are really high IQs, handsome and stuff. Yeah, he was one of those guys, and a genetic expert or some shit. And so apparently it turned out that the daughter that was saying she was raped and it got pregnant by some rich man, she was trying to scam him by saying she was pregnant and get some money from the child support, and she was trying to sell the baby, and she was caught drugging rich men and using a cattle prod
Oh my God.
to make them ejaculate when they're knocked out. Yeah, it was like season 3. So all I'm saying is, but the mom was in on it. The mom and the dad was the dude that ran the sperm bank. So they convicted the father. They were like, wait a minute. Like, she did all this shit, but she only did it because she knew it was money in it. And you're her dad. You're not going to you get her to bring semen samples to you. Like, you know what I mean? So you didn't go out there and do the shit, but you did. Like, kids don't just get these ideas, don't just pop up in their head. They have to watch it on something, and then it has to build, and then I don't know. If you have two places to live, I barely had one place to live as a kid. I never thought about killing a bitch. I've gotten mad. It was a Spanish girl that I liked when I was younger, Melissa Campos. I'll never forget her name. Big forehead Puerto Rican girl, fat ass. And one day I was at the pool, and I shot my shot, and she just like kind of curved me, and I was like, man, fuck this shit, man. Yeah. And I just swam. I just started swimming, and then by the time, like 30 minutes later, I forgot about this shit. You see what I'm saying? So even though I didn't have both parents, I still had older dudes around me to say, bro, there's going to be like a million girls like that you meet in your life, my nigga. And just that small little gesture was like, oh, okay, that does make sense. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, if anyone would have showed this kid any kind of love or affection, I'm pretty sure this could have been stopped.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention real quick, a little while ago, Black D Spider said, enjoy y'all weekend. Thank you very much. Much love. Thank you so much for your support. In fact, everybody, thank you so much for your support. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even, be live streaming and things like that. It's you all that inspired me to keep coming back, so I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much. Queen's Throne, of course. There was a comment that she made I wanted to bring up. Yes, but if he told people he did it, he threw insanity out the window.
Right,
and I think we can all agree on that. And then she also said the fact that he took his shoes off too is going to be an issue with that case. That's also going to show premeditation. She said it's about what he did after the killing, which
if he was remorseful, he might have sat there and cried. He wouldn't have been thinking to take his shoes off. He'd have been so emotionally distraught. He might, if it was like a trance he went into and the kind of came to and was like, oh my God, I'm stabbing somebody. He might have ran and told on himself or something. But nah, he tried to duck out on it. He tried to duck out on it. And it's sad that his environment kind of created that space for him to feel like that needed to be done. To get some kind of, I don't know if he was looking for validation. I don't know if it went from, liking her to revenge. Like, if I can't have her, no one will. Yeah, it's sad that he was put in a space where his mind went there. Because kids don't respect the fact that their brains don't develop until they're like, boys, it's like 28. I would say 30. I would guess 30. And women, it's like 25. So...
Queenstone also said that people divorce daily. I agree, but I'm kind of wondering what his state of mind was at, that maybe he couldn't handle his parents divorcing in such a way. Who knows what other shit he was...
Yeah.
He was going through his head. Let's see. Queenstone also said, I feel what Preach is saying, but his parents aren't being charged. Should they? And with what?
I think they should be charged with some form of neglect. I think when they go deep into it and they look at his story and they ask about his home life, his parents are going to be completely non-existent. When they ask his friends about his parents, they're going to be like, yeah, we came over a few times, but, you know, I think I met his dad once, but then he just left. I guess he's working all the time. Like, I think that's the story that's going to come out of, like, asking around it. Like what was the environment he was in that created that situation. And I think it's going to be a whole lot of that. I think it's going to be a whole lot, you know, he was always in the house, you know, we could always come over, you know, play video games, da-da-da-da. But young boys like that don't talk about their emotions. He didn't sit there with his friends like, man, I wish my dad would fucking play catch with me.
Pay attention to me.
Yeah, like, he's like, he bought me an Xbox, so
that's good enough.
Let's play it. I got pizza rolls, and he gave me a card so I can order pizza, you know. Like, I think it's going to be a lot of that. And there's a lot of situations like that, but even then, to get driven to feel like that's a good idea, I think he was really looking for that comfort he wasn't getting from his parents, from her. He saw a really pretty girl, and he was like, because I've been there as a young dude. You see a really pretty girl, and your mind doesn't put anything in your head that says, why wouldn't she want me? You know what I mean? Nothing puts that in your head unless you have like older male telling you about how things work. So as a young man, you're like, well, maybe she might not want me because of my acne and stuff like that, but, you know, or maybe he concluded in his mind that she already wouldn't want him. Maybe she didn't even friend zone him. Maybe she was just like, she's nice, she'll never get with me, I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah, because allegedly they still have no idea what his motive was. All we really have is what the other students are saying. And in fact, from what I understand, on social media, obviously they're going to be on there, there's some people trashing the victim, saying that she deserved it somehow. But I don't know what they think they know about the case. I mean, they were all friends, maybe not. So that's why I'm kind of hoping that if there is a trial that it's televised, because maybe that's when that information will be released.
I mean, look, it's probably a troll saying that, and I understand how trolling works. You have to cross the line, or else you're not going to be recognized. I get it.
Yeah.
Saying stuff like that, but there may be people that really feel that way, and when it comes to situations where men do this to women or women do this to men. If a man has past experiences of women dogging him out, he's gonna project that onto situations like this. He's gonna be like, oh, she was teasing him probably, you know, doing all that cheerleading all in his face, you know what I mean, being pretty and nice, and then
popular.
Yeah, being popular, you know, like you sound crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you're mad, and you're saying it's her fault she got stabbed 110 times. I'm pretty sure that she wouldn't stab herself 110 times. You know?
No.
Pretty sure. If I had to take a wild guess.
Right.
The victim is always the victim. I don't like when people try to switch who the victim is. The person that's dead is the victim. Unless the person that's dead was trying to kill the person that killed them. That's different.
And it's self-defense. That's different.
That's a whole nother case. But the victim is the victim. There's no way, there's nothing she could have done herself that would make her deserve that.
Even if she was like bitchy with him or whatever, maybe he was. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if she was, it still wouldn't be a reason for her to lose her life. I mean, she wants to tell a guy no, and if he's being too persistent, he's being too annoying, and she ends up herself having to get a little aggressive in her response to such harassment, because it can become harassment, then, you know, he still doesn't have a right to take her life. He needs to figure out how to take rejection, and that's probably something his parents never taught him how to do.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah, rejection is one of the hardest things a young man can experience. You know, if heartbreak is mixed into it, that shit hurts. Trust me, when you're young and you think there's no reason why this one girl wouldn't mess with me, and and then you like her, and you think you like her, or you think you love her because you're a kid. You don't really know what that is.
Right.
It's a fixation. You're fixated on this person, and so it hurts your pride a lot, too. Your ego and your pride gets bruised when that happens as a young kid, and it does take someone there for you to help you understand what you do in those spaces. Because if you just lash out, things like this are gonna happen.
Yeah, that was a really tough case to learn about too, because it wasn't that long ago that I was 13, 14 years old, and I didn't know anybody in real life capable of that, or myself, and things were fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to ask you a question. I was in the shower, right when you were talking about the young girl. They found out what happened with the parents. Malia.
Oh yes. Okay.
That was the case when they said she walked out of the house and was at the park, right? And then they found her in the river.
No.
Okay.
No.
That wasn't the same one. All right.
Her mom went out of town allegedly to go to her father's funeral, and she decided to leave her kids with her boyfriend, because that's what moms do nowadays for some reason. And they ended up getting into an argument while she was out of town, and allegedly the little girl was bugging, if you want to say it that way, to the boyfriend, "Where's my mom? I want my mom back," this, that. And he hit her and then choked her, killed her, and then put her in a garbage bag, and then took her, I think, to Arkansas.
Oh yeah, I remember that story. And
Okay.
they saw the surveillance camera of him dumping the body.
No, they saw a surveillance camera of him with the laundry basket.
Oh
and
yeah,
the trash bag in it.
yeah.
That's probably what you're thinking of.
Yeah. Once again, man, we as black people, we have to understand that we're extremely emotional. So we also have to understand that we need coaching sometimes when it comes to these steps, going through the emotions, so to speak. Like you said, I like how you got the whole story, like how it went boom, boom, boom. So first he hit her. As a man, you're not her father, right?
Right.
Okay, she's getting on your nerves. That's what kids do. She doesn't understand why her mom's gone, which is not far-fetched, because any adult in the situation would ask, why the fuck are you just her boyfriend, not her husband, and you're at her house with her kids while she's out of town? Was she out of town on business? What was she doing? You see what I'm saying? So that's neglect right there. I feel like she should be charged. Because you once again, you birthed the child. And then you neglectfully left that child under the care of a person who was not fit.
And already abusing her. She knew this.
Oh, okay. So in that case, I would definitely charge her, because then if I was a prosecutor in this, when it comes to kids, bro, I would have said, so if he was abusing her already, you leave them because I'm pretty sure he knows the level of anger that dude gets to, because abuse isn't just, I hate this kid. Abuse is from your anger that you already have, and you take it out on a kid because they're smaller than you, which is some coward ass shit. That's some hoe ass shit. So I think he hit her really hard, and he might have bruised her. And then she started screaming and crying, as a kid would do. He got nervous, tried to get her to be quiet. He's like, so he tried to like choke her, like, shut up. But because he's a grown man and he doesn't fight men, he doesn't understand how strength works. You see what I'm saying? Because he pussy. So he was holding on her neck, probably how he would have strangled the dude at the store that disrespected him. You know what I mean? But didn't do nothing. So, and then he strangled her, and because she's a kid, it's not hard to break a trachea of a child. I know it sounds weird, strange for people. I know it sounds strange, but I read books, all right? It's not hard to break a child's trachea. It's really not hard. You really don't have to put that much pressure on it. And then once that airway is closed, it's a wrap. And it's a kid, so the body went limp. He said, "Oh fuck." That's how I think it went. I think he hit her. She started screaming. He tried to shut her up. And I'm pretty sure that he's done that before, but the mom was there. So the mom was able to calm her down every time he did her like that.
I wanted to mention... Oh, go ahead.
So this time, he was able to like, oh, she not here to, stop it. I'm going to do it how I think. Once again, with the ego. And it's once again, why is she out of town? He might have been insecure, like, oh, your mom going to leave me with y'all, type shit.
Oh, there's a little bit more. So she comes back, which, by the way, Black and Bougie has a theory. She says that she doesn't think that the man hit Malia, but that the mom did. But we're still trying to figure out that timeline. I don't think they're able, since Malia's body was so decomposed, they weren't able to even say what exactly killed her. We only have what the alleged confession to not even an officer of the law or whatever, but to Quanell X. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's like
Quanell X.
Yeah, he's like an advocate type person that comes out when certain tragedies happen, and he's like a spokesperson type. Do you know what I mean?
Well, with the case that I thought this was with the little girl that went to the park and just walked away, and it was like this big social media storm about it, and people was going to the, housing thing, and then I think Queen's Throne, she showed the apartment, and the people going into her apartment and stuff, and showing that it was like no food in the fridge.
Yeah.
Salute. Showing that there was no food in the fridge and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. When it comes to kids, you can't. The only thing you can really do is not be like that, because I'm not the police. I'm not going to jail for some dickhead that do something stupid. But dog, if the apocalypse ever happen, and y'all see a nigga sliding around looking for police files of pedophiles, that's me. That's preach. I'm in the police station on a computer. I'm trying to get all the names of the pedophiles and rapists. We making a list. We checking it twice. Let that apocalypse happen, boy.
Because you know what they're going to be trying to do. Because if it's the apocalypse, they've got nothing to lose themselves.
What? So yeah, you catch preaching the act, sliding on some dumb shit. I ain't gotta go to work no more. I can't go to jail. Nigga, I'm sliding on some dumb shit. I'm just playing.
Might as well take out some pedophiles. Queen's Throne said that was Cupcake, and that was a case that we took a look at.
We did.
I want to say last week, or not last week, but like I think last year or so. Hi, Black and Bougie, how you doing?
Hey y'all.
Salute, Queen.
Hi.
Hey brother, how you?
We're doing good.
Real quick, okay, this is what I don't understand, like, about like the Malia Davis case. And people keep saying, oh, Brittany's gonna get hers, she's gonna get hers. Well, when? Because how is Darian, because for him to only be being charged with, tampering with the corpse and not, basically abuse of a corpse, then who is the murderer? For somebody to abuse the corpse, somebody has to become a corpse. Someone has to die. And I don't understand why they, like, what are they being so quiet about? Are they saying like, okay, well, we don't want to say that we're investigating Brittany because we don't want her to run?
It could be.
It's getting irritating at this point, because it's been 2 fucking years and Brittany's fat ass is walking around looking like a fucking beluga whale, getting her nails and shit done,
living her best life, right?
While Darian is in the fucking jail looking like Anton off in Living Color. Like, I don't understand this shit. And then why isn't Darian talking?
We'll see. That's what I was gonna say. I was thinking that maybe now that he's, he pled guilty, maybe he'll start talking now. But I don't know. I feel like he should have already if he was going to. Danielle.
Yeah, like the Queen said he's taking a plea probably so she won't be charged because it's not going to trial. That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's the only reason that I do think that maybe he was solely responsible. Because why don't you want this to go to trial? Why don't you want? Because what I don't understand, okay, let's say for instance Darian did do it and Brittany didn't have anything to do with it. Brittany still wasn't acting like a concerned mother, like somebody that lost her child. That's why I feel that she did have something to do with it. Like who because when Brittany went out of town, wasn't Malia the only one with Darian? And I don't even think Darian, well, yeah, Darian's son was with him.
Mhm.
This is my thing. You're going to your father's funeral. Why are you not taking Malia? For one, she's your baby girl. For two, she's not Darian's child.
Right.
And then you're
father
telling
was still in the
Quanell X
picture.
that he used to abuse her, huh?
And I want to say that the father was, I think his name was Craig. He was still in the picture. From what I understand, when he went to court and saw Darian, he jumped at him. So he cared. From what I understand, I don't think that he was
I don't know if that's true, because
apathetic.
if he cared, then why didn't you? I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand like baby mamas and baby dads, they're feuding. So she probably like, I'm not going to tell him that I'm leaving his daughter with somebody, even though I don't understand why you wouldn't. Because if Darian is this abuser that you say he is, why are you leaving Malia with her? Like at worst, Brittany is an accomplice to murder. At best, she's just a shitty ass parent.
Yeah. I think the only
And even if Brittany doesn't go to jail for being like an accomplice, she still needs to go to jail for neglect and abandonment and child endangerment.
The only reason I think maybe Craig didn't care was because he allegedly went to the apartment to pick up Malia, and Darian told her, "Oh, she's sick, she's asleep, like let her sleep." When in fact
I don't
she
know.
was
Maybe it's
already
just
passed
me,
away.
but you're breaking up really bad, Ray. I'm sorry.
Not too sure what I could do. Am I breaking up to the
Okay, it
chat?
sounds better now. It sounds
Okay.
better now. Go ahead. What'd you say, dear?
I was talking about how Craig went to the apartment to pick up Malia because I think he had visitations for her, and then Darian told him that Malia was sick and that to leave her alone, let her rest or whatever, and then Craig just kind of took that as an answer and then left. And I think maybe other
Which
parents would have
is
been like,
deadbeat dad bullshit. Right. That's
yeah,
just like if you had a daughter and she, for whatever reason lived with your ex and his girlfriend. Are you gonna knock on the residence and be like, hey, let me see my baby? And you gonna let his bitch be like, oh, she doesn't feel good. Like, I don't give a fuck. That's out of more reason that you need to give me my baby
Yep.
because she's sick.
That's
And
what
she
I was
needs to
thinking
be
too.
with her real parent. Like, like Malia's father, he is a bitch too. I'm sorry. Everybody failed her. And it's something wrong with Brittany's mother. Like, she's a piece of shit too. Like, what I didn't like the other day is how they said, like, okay, Darian is being sentenced to 40 years, for abuse of a corpse or whatever. And then they just let it go. Like, who is satisfied with this? Nobody.
Okay, Queen is joining the chat. Hi.
Hey.
How's it
So,
going?
I kind of like missed out on the last like 2 minutes,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know. I want to talk about the case and shit like that. I had found out about it the other day, and I feel like there's definitely more to the story. I feel like maybe even
Sorry, Queen Storm. I'm gonna go watch TV with my girl. Y'all be easy.
All right.
Nice talking to y'all.
Yeah.
Peace, Queen. Why you hop in when I'm leaving?
Nah, I just, I wasn't even supposed to join, but I just want to keep this quick.
Okay.
But
why you hop off when I'm getting on?
Right.
I gotta feed my turtle, and then I'm gonna watch Law and Order. I'm sorry.
He addicted to that Law and Order. I was watching that last night too. But I just,
All right, salute.
all right. I'll
Thank
see y'all.
you.
I'll see you.
You're
I
safe.
feel like, yeah, I was confused at first and shit. But I feel like Darian Bent probably, Brittany probably has something on him, because I really just don't understand how, like, you know, that she's not getting charged, but, you know, Quanell X, what he said is that she knew that, you know, he had did these things to the girl. I don't even want to say it because that shit is emotional as hell to me right now. But
it's gross.
like I said, I do have a lot of a lot of videos on Queen's Throne 369 about this, and then a couple on Queen's Throne TV. But I just feel like there's more to the story, and that's the reason why he's not going to trial, because he knows that, you know, she would be culpable in some type of manner.
Okay, even if that is the case, that's all the more reason, you know, unless he feels like, you know, because he doesn't want her to go to jail because he needs her there to take care of his child. Like, you know, well, I can't, you know, throw my baby mama under the bus because then, you know, there's not going to be a mother for my child. I mean, because that's the only reason that I could see it.
Did she get her son back that they had together? Because I know that Malia's, you know, whole brother, not saying, you know, stepper and all that, but I'm just saying, like, the one that she had with Craig is still with Craig. That's what I thought the last time.
Okay, yeah, because you notice when they do, that's just like how they didn't give Relisha Rudd's brother and sisters back to Shamika, because you know, like, when you let something happen to one child, CPS will take the rest of your children.
Yeah,
because it's like, okay, you couldn't protect this one, you're not getting none of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. See, that's what I don't know if they gave that baby back to Brittany. If they did, that is a huge, I mean, that's beyond negligence. I don't even know what that's called. Like, that's complete bullshit. So I just don't understand this. Like, when is Darion going to open his mouth? And is he ever gonna talk? Like, y'all are letting a child killer go free, and y'all don't expect anybody to say anything. I mean, I would just like to think that there's some detective that's just sitting around, you know, just combing this case with a fine-tooth comb.
Exactly. I mean, if
just
I was a detective, I'd be on that shit.
Brittany's fat ass.
Yep. Fact. I mean, and because the good part is, because she's never been charged, you know, because if they would have charged her and then found out she ain't have nothing to do with it, and then they found out that she did, you know, okay, so they found out that they thought that she had something to do with it. They brought her to court. She, you know what I'm saying, was found not guilty. They can't recharge her. That's double jeopardy.
Right, and that just would have been a total loss. So
exactly.
Like, yeah, so I just would like to think that they're like, no, we need to cover all our bases because we're gonna get this bitch.
And we also need to see or try to find out if her, you know, relationship to her other children, you know, has been severed, her parental rights. Because that is a big thing too. Maybe he's like, fuck it, you know, if you got our baby together, you know, on the outs and you're taking care of him, then I'm not going to tell on you, like you said, because then that would maybe put him in CPS, or maybe the grandmother, his mother, or whatever can't be burdened, you know, or Brenda Bowen's, her mother, can't be burdened with the child at this time. You know what I mean? But there is
Brenda didn't give a fuck about Malia, so I know she doesn't care about Brittany's other kids. And remember Darion's dad, what's his name?
Joe Vance.
Oh yeah.
I thought his name was Joe.
Okay, remember he told Chris Thorns that there was times when, I think he said Darion's mom had took care of all of Brittany's children.
Yes,
so
that's true.
like, you know, if Darion feels like, you know, I know you helped me do this, you know, I'm gonna throw you under the bus, then he should feel comfort knowing that, okay, I don't care, my mama's gonna get my son, bitch, you're going to jail too.
Yes. And then how do you guys also feel about maybe that Child Protective Services in Houston doesn't want to then you know, file charges on her, because that would make them also look negligent on their behalf for not stepping in and, you know, or even allowing her to have the child back after said injuries had already happened.
They failed.
Exactly. So they would have to take some, you know what I mean, responsibility in that matter too. That may make the case look faulty, and more backlash they fear maybe could fall on them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And in a lot of these cases, they don't care as long as they get one person gone, somebody allegedly paying for the crime. But I would like to think what you're saying is, you know, that there's just a detective that's working the hell out of this case, you know, maybe even secretly to
Yeah, I'm gonna come
themselves,
back
like
and
in the
go back
movie.
in because my phone is breaking up real bad. I'll be
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Go
But
ahead,
what I
Kay.
was saying is maybe like in the movie, like how in the movies, you know, how there'll be like this long, like rogue detective, not really rogue, but he behind the scenes, it ain't his job or his duty no more, but he still researches the case until he ultimately, he or she finally gets a conviction or, you know, finds out whatever they need to find out. I don't know. I think it's a lot of just hoping. Go
What
ahead,
do you
Ray.
do you think that maybe Quanell X's involvement complicated things?
That part too. Thank you for bringing that up. I definitely forgot about that. He definitely was very negligent in the case, and he fabricated a lot of situations in the case.
That
Who did?
Quanell X.
Quanell X.
Yeah,
And see
because
what
do
I.
you guys remember once he stopped fucking with Brittany, she said some shit like, and I never told him that Darian molested my baby. Well, bitch, you didn't tell him not to say it either.
Right. Right. That's fact.
Like, remember that boy? He was like, yeah, because we found out with his old thick meatloaf head. I can't stand his fake ass.
Yeah, and I definitely think that he may have fucked up some, messed up some stuff in this case because I like I didn't forget about his involvement, but it's kind of like all this stuff is in the back of my mind. So what I want to do is go over and, you know, make sure that I don't forget anything. And, you know, I'm gonna rewatch a lot of videos on this case, especially my own, you know, because just for little things here and there, because you know how like I didn't even think about it that it's been 2 years. So congratulations, Rachel. We've been friends 2 years now. But yeah, we did it, girl. Yes. No turncoat shit or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like 100 every day, all day. We ain't even getting one argument either. That's what's up. But you know, I want to go over and, you know, go over it again because it's always different, you know, in the moment. I know that and I felt that I had a lot of, you know, emotion in the case. But, you know, in hindsight, 2020, when you look back, you know, and for it to be 2 years, I definitely want to do that. But I know everything about the case, but I just want to, so I can like relive it again and everything like that.
And
Chris
finding
Thorns
new
is a great
information.
place. Yeah, Chris Thorns is a great place to go also in that case as well. He was on that case like I was. So.
Yeah, I like watching him. He's really
Yeah, I
down to
just
earth.
remember like what'd you say, Ray?
Oh, I was saying Chris Thorns is really down to earth, and I like watching his coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really cared about Malia a lot.
Yeah.
And Metal Brick says, happy 2nd year anniversary. Why, thank you.
Right? Man, I didn't even trip off it. Like, it's been 2 years, man. That's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, and there's still...
Yeah, it's good when women can develop a sisterhood and things can work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of bad examples out there, for sure.
Bad.
Yeah, because, you know, we can be real bitches towards each other. So it's always good when it works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Damn.
It's crazy.
Well, I'm a hop down or whatever. Just want to let y'all know that I'll be back on Tuesday. I do apologize, but we're still, you know, on a trace of this stupid ass skip shit. But I will definitely be back on Tuesday. That's for sure, for sure.
Yes,
So
be careful,
I will see you guys then, and I'm back in the
Send my love
chat.
to the fam.
Yes, I will. Thank you, Black and Bougie, for, you know, conversating with me as well. Much love.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Same to you, sis. Thank you, dear.
Right. You gonna stay on the panel, Black and Bougie, while I finish the last 6 clips today? You feel you're up for it?
The phone is breaking up really bad, but
sorry.
I'll be listening from my TV, okay?
Okay. Did you want to stay on the panel, or just gonna jump off?
I don't think I can. I don't know if it does this because, you know, the battery's getting low or they just sent me this thing talking about you've used up a lot of your data. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But...
They're always on something. My
yeah, so yeah, I'll exit the chat. I'll come back if are you gonna be on for a while or you only have a couple more videos to show?
I've got 6 more videos to go, so I'm guessing maybe like 30 more minutes, less than an hour.
Okay, I'll come back if I can, dear.
Okay, cool. Then we'll go ahead and continue on. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Queen's Throne too as well. Thank you so much for providing your insight, and Preach. It was always good to have you on here as well.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you. All right, so we'll go ahead and continue. We have 6 more clips in the playlist, and this next one is a new case that I had found out about. There is definitely more information out there, but like I said earlier, I'm a little bit on a time constraint, so I did want to introduce the case to everybody and then do my own research afterwards, and then we'll catch up to what's going on. This is called Suspect in Case of 4-Year-Old Found Dead Faces New Charges, and this is going to be courtesy of WFAA, and this was posted yesterday, so let's go ahead and take a look.
18-year-old Darian Brown is the man who police say kidnapped 4-year-old Cash Jernan in mid-May. Now Brown faces new charges following a February incident where police say he broke into another home nearby. The victim in the case told WFAA Brown said after breaking in that he was looking for a woman who didn't live there. The victim said Brown then attempted to grab his granddaughter before Brown hit him in the face. Dallas police responded to the February incident too. He now faces 2 new charges: burglary and injury to the elderly. Darian Brown's alleged break-in in February was a little more than 3 months before police say he kidnapped 4-year-old Cash Jernan. Now, the victim in the February incident told me just minutes later the woman who was caring for Cash Jernan walked down the street and said that the suspect was just having a mental episode and needed to be evaluated. So that suspect, Darian Brown, went in for a mental evaluation and was later released. A little more than 3 months later, Cash Jernan was kidnapped and killed. In a brief phone call Friday, Cash's caretaker said she told the February victim after his incident that Darian was violent and troubled. Few details are known about the relationship.
Another Darian?
Between Cash's caretaker and the suspect. The victim in the February case said she told him that her home was a safe place for troubled youth. Darian Brown remains in custody, facing multiple charges after at least 2 break-ins and the death of a 4-year-old. In Dallas, I'm Alex Rozier.
Darian Brown's attorney said the state hasn't officially filed the case with the district attorney. He said he is anxiously awaiting the state to file the case so he can view the evidence and start defending the 18-year-old. He wants to make it clear his client says he is innocent.
They're all innocent, aren't they? I did want to mention that Emmanuel Briggs said, I like the 3 of you guys as a panel. You guys need a channel. I'm open to that. But that reminded me that I did start a backup channel. I talked about it earlier, but now that there's new people in the room, I'll go ahead and drop the link. Go ahead and sub to that. It's called MissRaeMoody Talks, and I want to dedicate that channel to open panels and open topics. So it probably won't be a lot of like what we do here and go through a playlist of videos. I wanted to have open discussions with different people and things like that. So make sure that you sub up and always hit the notification bell to all. So this is a case that I definitely want to look into more. I was only able to get a clip because I wanted to keep it kind of like more focused on the updates of stories that I've already been covering lately, but when I saw this one, I knew I had to introduce it so that I could remember to keep looking into it so we could find out what happens. I did want to also mention that there has been an update in the okay, cool, yeah, definitely. We'll see how we can arrange. I did give Black and Bougie my email, so we hopefully will be communicating more often now that, you know, not just on Livestream. I wanted to also bring up that Emmanuel Briggs said, let me stop typing in all caps, hollering at people and shit. It's okay, it happens. I want to say that Queen also sometimes types in all caps. Sometimes it's just easier to see it that way for everybody. I don't ever like translate it to yelling unless like I do know somebody's upset and then all of a sudden they go from like small letters to like big letters, and you know, then that's a different story. But you're good, Emmanuel Briggs, no worries. There is an update on the Lori Vallow Daybell situation. For those of you that aren't aware of it, she is the quote-unquote mother of JJ and Ty Lee. They went missing, and Lori, which is the mother, was given a certain time limit to produce the children via the courts because people were concerned. They hadn't seen the kids in a long time. She said that they were with, I think, the grandparents, and then shortly after that, she went to Hawaii, got remarried. By the way, her husband turned up mysteriously dead before that, and then the new husband's wife turned up mysteriously dead, and then we want to say that Lori's brother Alex had something to do with those situations, but we probably won't find out too much of that considering he died of alleged natural causes. There is a doomsday cult in this situation as well. Lori allegedly believes she's part of the 144,000. If you're not aware of like the rapture and like the end times and things like that, she thinks she's one of the chosen one. She also said that some people said that she was threatening to kill people with her powers, which I think all of this was setting up an insanity defense from the very beginning. I believe she's methodical. I believe she knows what she's doing. I think all that Bible talk is what's helping her in her case so far. So it had been some time. I want to guess maybe a year after she was arrested, maybe not as long. And she had just been charged with, I want to say, the murders of the children and also having something to do with the wife of the husband. So I'll go ahead and play this clip. I'm pretty sure it does have some type of timeline to it. I did put it at the beginning. It's called Lori and Chad Daybell Indicted Nearly a Year After Children's Bodies Found, and this is going to be courtesy of ABC News. This was posted yesterday, so this is brand new information. Let's go ahead and take a look.
For months, the disappearance of brother and sister J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan captivated the country. Their grandparents' heartfelt pleas for help, launching a nationwide search.
Now to authorities intensifying their search for two missing children in Idaho.
Now, almost 2 years after the 7 and 17-year-old vanished, Kay and Larry Woodcock are one step closer to answers.
It's like the world just stopped.
Speaking to a local news crew in Arizona after the children's mother, Lori Vallow Daybell, and her husband, Chad, were indicted in Idaho on 9 new charges, including first-degree murder.
There are just so many layers, and every week, every month, there's something new in this case.
The couple appeared separately at a hearing yesterday.
Well, Miss Daybell is present here. Mr. Daybell, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
But before her charges were read, Lori's attorneys unexpectedly requested to reschedule the proceeding.
Okay, that will be all for today. Thanks everybody for appearing. We will be adjourned.
Today, documents were unsealed, revealing that in March, a competency evaluation found that Lori, quote, is not competent to proceed. Prosecutors are appealing that finding.
What they're going to try to do is try to find a way to make her competent. What exactly is the issue that makes it hard for her to understand how this case?
It's the whole, she was also saying, by the way, that she believed in zombies and that her powers could kill zombies with her mind or something like that. So according to her, somebody said that she believed that her children were zombies and she needed to kill them. So I'm pretty sure she's still speaking that way when it comes to whoever is evaluating her. So she's probably sticking to her story that she's a special person and she has powers and her kids were zombies and she was trying to protect herself and things like that. I don't know too much about, you know, what a competency evaluation would include, but I believe that I'm going to go ahead and let Black and Bougie back on. But I want to say that type of talk is going to inspire anybody to say, okay, she doesn't think like we do, let's write her off as incompetent. But I believe that she knows what she's doing. Hi.
Hey, babe. Yeah, I think she does too. Doesn't she look like the bitch from John and K+8?
Let me look her up. I haven't seen.
Remember John and K+8, the mom? She's like the poster child for Karens or whatever.
With the hair, right?
We can call her menopause Barbie. Oh my God.
Grab a picture of
That
her.
is so
Oh, the hair. That hair was wild. Let me share my screen real quick so everyone can see what I'm looking at. I want to say it should be this. Yeah. Her. That's some wild hair right there on the side.
Yeah, she looks like her.
Yeah. They divorced, right? Or they had some kind of scandal as well? I didn't really follow their story too much.
He left her. A lot of people were on his side. I wasn't. When you're a mother of that many children, I don't know. I didn't blame her for being the way that she was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids. There's the
Yeah,
hair.
she wanted order in her household, and when you have that many children, you can't afford to have a man, that's immature, that's not, stepping up. You just can't.
No, that's true. That reminds me of the Octomom. I wonder how she's doing now. I should probably look into
She's
that some
actually
other time.
doing well. People need to leave her alone too.
Well, that's good to hear, though. It seems like she really
Yeah.
did want those babies.
Yeah, I'm sure if she could have did it differently, she would, but they're here now. Like, how you going to shame somebody for taking care of a whole tribe of children? I mean,
Yeah. I think one of the
they're her
scandals...
damn kids.
Yeah, I think one of the scandals was that she was on, like, assistance, on government assistance. If I remember correctly.
Well, what the hell else is she supposed to? I mean, where for one, who's going to watch all those kids? Where is she going to work that's going to pay for it? You know what I mean? There's no other way.
Yeah. I mean, she was how do I say it? She went through a procedure, right, to get pregnant, and then she ended up with...
Yeah, I think she went through IVF, and I think they were saying something about suing the doctor because what he did, was unethical. Putting that many babies in her or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's probably another story that would be interesting to look at or to revisit because it's been a while. I hadn't even thought of that in a while. Yeah, at least she's
Lori's,
yeah.
I'm sorry, her husband, is he gonna try to plead insanity too, or what are they gonna do with him? Are they calling him crazy too, or just her?
Not yet. I think it's just her for now.
Because neither one of these fuckers are crazy. They're just evil. They're just child killers.
I agree. I just think that, I mean, how, I don't know. I just have a hard time accepting that she's that out of it, that she took part in murdering all these people, and it was all set up so that she could start this new life with this other man, and nobody sees how she was being methodical and how that takes competence to do. But now she's
Thank you.
all, yeah.
And then that's another thing. If they really felt like what they were doing was righteous and it was for God, and that's just like Jim Jones' coward ass. If he really believed that what he was doing was okay, they wouldn't have had to try to make him, drink the Kool-Aid that he was giving everybody else. He would have drunk it right with them, but he knew that he was wrong.
No, I think he had somebody shoot him in the head, right, to make it quick.
I heard that a person shot him in the head because he wouldn't do it. Like, I don't know, what you're saying
Okay.
could be right, but I heard that one of the people were like, oh, okay, so you're not gonna drink it too? Okay, like, we're gonna shoot your ass. I don't know though.
There are documentaries that I saved, but I'm not too sure if I'll be able to share them. But one thing that I had issue with is that they mostly include audio of what ended up happening after they drank the Kool-Aid, and it was children involved, so I wasn't uncomfortable covering it. So I'm trying to find a way around that, I guess. I'll probably have to present something the long way. And that's kind of something that I encountered too when I was looking at the Asha Degree situation. Since it's a case from 20 years ago, there wasn't much on YouTube, so I had to rely on news articles. So I'm at this point, I'm just putting things in order and making sure I have all the information. Another thing is I kind of want to wait till I get another subscription to StreamYard because I don't want the duck to be present during the live, because I did put a lot of time into doing the research and I just wanted to look more professional. So I just wanted you to have my email so that way I can make sure that you're available in case you want to jump up on the panel and maybe, you know, include some of your insights since you recommended the case. And it was a very interesting case to look into and I had never heard of it. It turns out that Oprah Winfrey covered it, Montel Williams covered it, she was on America's Most Wanted, and that still isn't enough coverage to me if I myself hadn't heard of it yet. That was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely look into that in its entirety as soon as, you know, I can get everything together. But had you seen the beginning part of this clip that I was showing? Do you want me to replay it, or are you good with where we left off here?
I'm good.
Okay.
Are they talking about her insanity? Okay, yeah, I heard of that part. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and continue playing it. Let me know if you want to add anything. Queen's Throne says that she's got to run. Okay, take care. Be safe. Love ya.
Okay, see you soon, Queen.
Emmanuel Briggs real quick said, I thought so. I think that was a horrible giant PSYOP operation so they could weaponize something bigger in the future. What are we talking about? Oh, the Jim Jones situation?
Yeah, Jonestown massacre.
Yeah, that's definitely opinions that I look forward to hearing about, because I like to study cases and then, you know, kind of listen to what other people have to say and then just kind of gauge how I feel about it. I don't like to jump into it with my opinions, because it does take time to see the bigger picture, and a lot of the times it takes other people to put in their insight to make me realize how I feel about certain things. So that's why I really like doing this. So I really do appreciate everybody offering their insights, asking questions, things like that.
Yeah, really quick. That's how I felt during when they took down David Koresh and the Branch Davidians. Even as a child, I looked at that. Yeah, at Waco, and I remember sitting there with my parents, and I always used to get in trouble for asking too many questions and stuff. I mean, my mother was a bit more patient, but my dad would always feel like, you know, you're a child, stay in your place. This is the way things are, and I'm just like, why? So you guys couldn't think of any other way than to set people on fire?
To get in there?
Yeah, to get in there. Because I heard that he was you know, molesting little girls and stuff. I mean, I'm not condoning it or whatever, but their parents are there. How is a solution to stop him from marrying people's children to set children on fire alive?
That was awful.
What are y'all doing? And then Janet Reno, the way that she condoned it, that shit was disgusting. I said, this government is wicked.
And it hasn't changed much since then, has it?
At all.
That's another interesting case to take a look at. I just have to see where I'm going to get the information, because it's really tempting to play something that's already out there, because a lot of the times that information is already organized and it would just be a lot easier to just present it. But I never know what channels' policies are on sharing their videos on live streams, and I personally don't want to get a whole live stream knocked out over one clip or whatever, especially since it does take time and effort to get organized to present something. So I'll definitely have it on my mind. Yeah. Emmanuel Briggs says, I said that about Jim Jones because I heard that he had CIA ties. See, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, because I mean, everything they do and they allow to go on is so calculated. Like it's almost like nothing is organic. Everything is orchestrated by them or something.
Mm-hmm. And to what end? You know, you got to start looking at what rights are being taken away due to these supposed events.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and continue watching this clip. This is going to be about the Lori Daybell update. So this is going to be about her being found incompetent. So there's a little bit more to it. I wanted to go ahead and show that, okay?
Go ahead, babe.
Awesome.
Cases going about. Does she need to be medicated? Does she need to be transferred to a different facility to get additional medical services? They're going to keep trying to find ways to make her competent until she can stand trial. If this was petty larceny, stealing a few dollars here, or someone's cell phone or wristwatch, maybe the prosecution would find a different way of resolving the case. But for a case where you're talking about conspiracy to commit murder for 3 people and murder against 2 children, the prosecution is really going to wait for her to be found competent to throw the book at her.
It is just the latest bizarre twist in a saga stretching from Idaho to Arizona to Hawaii that includes the missing kids, a curious trail of deaths surrounding the couple and accusations of belonging to a doomsday group and wanting to rid the world of zombies. In September of 2019, Lori moved JJ and Tylee to Idaho. After months of no contact, the grandparents, Kay and Larry, asked police to conduct a welfare check.
She never would respond to anything. Text, voicemails, emails, nothing.
When police went to Lori's home, they discovered not only was JJ missing, but so was Tylee. Authorities allege Lori and Chad told police a series of lies.
Wants you to tell the truth?
Chad acted as if he didn't know Lori very well, the authorities said. He didn't know her phone number, according to the affidavit. And Lori's brother told the police that JJ was with his grandma Kay. Authorities say it was a...
See, there, that was a lie. She knew that the kids weren't with their grandma. So how is she not, if she's competent enough to lie to cover her own ass, how is she not competent enough to stand trial?
Right. And if she thought what she did was righteous, she would have been like, well, you know, I took their lives for Jesus, or whatever the fuck she believes in.
Or they were a danger to me or themselves, and I don't know. I don't want to give excuses.
Right, they had to go, or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I appreciate the grandparents' diligence. You see how once they, you know, they kept calling about their grandbabies, and once, you know, she didn't respond, they started taking the proper steps to find out where their grandchildren were. I appreciate that.
Yeah. They seem to be the only ones that cared.
Yeah.
I want to say hi to TMK Media. I hope you're having an awesome weekend. Happy holidays if you celebrate. Not everybody does. But yeah, let's continue. I just wanted to add that because once in a while when you're looking at the news clips and stuff like that, some things just you call bullshit. You know, it just doesn't make sense. If it doesn't resonate with truth to us, how is she able to quote unquote fool authorities or whoever's evaluating her? I really wish that I could see how those evaluations went, but I'm not sure if we'll have access to that at any time.
Me too.
Okay, let's go ahead and keep playing.
Clear lie since Kay first called in the missing child report. Lori herself told police JJ was in Gilbert, Arizona with a friend. The day after that police visit, the couple vanished, showing up 2 months later in Hawaii.
Can you tell me where your kids are, Chad and Lori? Can you tell me where your kids are?
Lori and Chad refused multiple times to answer.
She looks like she knows what she's doing there.
Yeah, aren't they escaping?
I want to say they're moving around. I think they were still able to just do whatever they want at this time. They weren't like charged with anything or, you know, trying to be apprehended for anything. So I think this is like the journalist, you know, trying to find out through her what happened, and this is their reaction to that, which seems like something anybody would do. Take their phone out
so
and start filming.
is this before they went to Hawaii?
I want to say this is Hawaii.
Oh, okay. Because I remember when it showed them in Hawaii. Like, this is when I had first got wind of it, and they were like dressed up nice. Like, you could tell they were on a vacation. And that's when I had first heard about it. I'm like, why the fuck are these people not being arrested?
Yeah, look,
Like, it just seemed like they were like traveling the world and getting away with murder, and nobody was doing anything about it.
I want to say the journalist did more to track them down and ask them questions than the authorities did.
Yeah, Emmanuel said the police really dragged their feet on this case to the point of almost looking like a damn accomplice. They sure did. It was almost like, you know, are y'all friends with them? Like, are they police officers too? Like, why are y'all letting them do this?
You know what? One of the theories was that since they're LDS, I don't know if that's the Church of Latter-day Saints. I want to say that makes sense.
That is what it is.
Yeah, some of the police are also LDS, and so maybe perhaps they had help from them.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's over in Idaho. So the case did span through Idaho, Arizona, Hawaii. So it took all of those like precincts to, I guess, finally get them charged. I'm not too sure. I really do hope that we do see court for them and that it's televised so we can watch it. Because I will sit through it. I want to know exactly what they found out and what's going on. Alright, let's go ahead and continue.
Answer questions about the welfare of their kids.
I just wanted to ask you, are the kids okay? Can you tell me? I just can't comment. And why can't you comment? Legal reasons. Attorney told me not to speak.
In November, Chad and Lori got married on a beach in Hawaii, but neither JJ nor Tylee was there for the celebration. Their wedding just 2 weeks after Chad's former wife, Tammy, died of, quote, natural causes. But in this week's indictment, prosecutors say Lori and Chad exchanged text messages claiming Tammy was possessed by a spirit named Viola and alleging that Chad received $430,000 from a life insurance policy after Tammy's death.
We're processing a lot of evidence that has been accumulated.
He is now facing first-degree murder charges in connection with her death. In late January 2020, authorities in Idaho demanded Lori physically produce the children within 5 days. But no children surfaced. And in February, Lori was arrested in Hawaii.
The demand has been made for your surrender by the state of Idaho. Yes. Know that you have been charged in the state of Idaho with a number of charges.
The 47-year-old faced with 5 charges, including 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of a dependent child.
We would request that bail be reduced.
So what specific amount are you asking?
I'm asking for $10,000.
But a judge declared her a flight risk, and her bail...
$10,000? That doesn't sound like a lot. At all. Because isn't it just a small percentage of that they end up having to pay? Oh, sorry, Black and Bougie, I didn't see that you got knocked off. Did you hear that last part, though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it's not a small, it's a small amount for them because they're rich.
Mm-hmm.
They're not broke.
Mm-mm.
Like, have you seen, like, where they live and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, he had a big ranch. That's where the kids were found.
Yeah, he did that on purpose so that they could make the bail and then they could run.
That's sick. I just feel so bad for the kids. They didn't stand a chance. They didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah, and I heard she adopted JJ. He's not her biological son, is he?
He's not. Which is crazy because he looks like Tylee. You would think
He sure
they were.
does.
You would think they were biologically siblings, and they're not. It's so sad.
I wonder if his biological family know that he's their child. That he's their family member.
I bet so.
Like that shit. This shit is insane.
Mhm. It is sad. I mean, they want to throw the book at her. I say throw the whole library at her, and then throw her under the prison and light it on fire and just let her dissipate, and she won't have to worry about the end of the world or zombies or none of that crazy shit she's trying to portray as real.
Yeah, and maybe that bitch can use her powers to get the fuck out of prison.
Yeah, let's see her do that.
Or whatever.
And then there was also some end date too that I think was like last year, and then that came and went. And I wish I was in her head to know what she was thinking, if she really does believe it, or I don't know. Do you think that she does really believe it, or is this all just
No, I don't think she does. But I would have loved to be the person that did her psychological evaluation, because I would have been trolling her. I would have been like, so Lori, you know that Doomsday is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got any plans for how you're gonna, survive tomorrow's apocalypse?
She'll be like, oh, with my mental powers, I'll be okay. Jesus loves me. That's just
like, okay,
crazy.
well, bitch, I'm coming with you, because however you gonna survive it, I want to survive it too. So
she's gonna be
let
like,
me
you're
know
on
what
your
time. Yeah, like let me know what time to meet you here, and we'll come up with something together.
She's wild. Let's see what happens. Emmanuel Briggs says that's a small amount for what she's being charged with. They have friends in high places. And those kids were props for that skin demon to fool people. That's so sad.
Yeah.
I hate that.
But I think I remember seeing something about her son. And I could have sworn, that her older son was saying like she never used to be like this.
Probably. I will definitely look out for that. I want to say that he did come out and say something to the charges recently, but I put it on a future playlist because it was, I want to say, like a 17-minute clip, so I wanted to do that on the next live. But I could try to find out what else he said before that, so we can get a better idea of what home life was like before all of this. Because what if it somehow does turn out that, no, I can't. I was going to say, what if it turns out that Chad is playing like mind games with her or something like that, but that's not possible because, I mean, her husband passed away before they met, right? And then Tammy also passed away before Chad met Lori. I need to get the timeline correct. I'll probably put something together.
Me too, because I don't know. But if that's the case, I mean, she's a cold-blooded killer anyway, like regardless of how you slice it. But yeah, that way we can know that she can't, just blame this on him.
Yeah.
She can't just be like, oh, he brainwashed me into doing this.
Yes. Because if she's faking all of this, then what help is whatever rehabilitation allegedly that they're going to do on her to try to get her into a competent state of mind to go through trial. I mean, what's that going to look like? She's just going to resist anything they try to help her with. She's not going to help them out by to lock her up.
Right, and she's just going to keep acting crazy. And then when somebody isn't competent to stand trial, how do you get them competent? Like, if you're fucking crazy, you're crazy. You don't be like, okay, I'm not crazy anymore. I'm ready to do, like, this doesn't even make sense.
And what are the laws in their area? If does she get away with it, like that other dude, that Kane guy, or does she
get to walk? Like, okay, we can't get her competent, so she can leave now.
Right. That's stuff that we need to find out about. Okay, I'll go ahead and continue with the clip. Let's go ahead and see what else I have to say.
Bail was set at $5 million.
Oh, shit.
What I want to reiterate is that we are all hopeful that we are able to locate the missing children.
We know it's a positive step forward. We also know that as good as this news is as bad as it is also because we still don't have children.
A week later, Lori was smiling at times as she was read the charges in an Idaho courtroom, but still no sign of the missing children. In June of last year, authorities executed a search warrant and Chad's property was dug up, captured by East Idaho News. The children's remains were found and he was arrested. But murder charges against the couple were just filed this week.
The prosecution's murder case is very strong because there's so many different avenues in which they can get a conviction. They can say that one of the two of them, being Chad or Lori, either assisted, actually did the killing, encouraged someone, or commanded them to do so.
According to the latest indictment, they, quote, espouse religious beliefs for the purpose of justifying the homicide of JJ and Tylee. Last year, friends told investigators Chad and Lori believed they were part of the, quote, Church of the Firstborn, and their mission was to rid the world of zombies. At least one friend telling investigators Lori believed her children had turned into zombies, that JJ was considered a dark spirit, and that a person's true spirit was stuck until the host body is physically killed.
Of all the murder cases captivating this country, there is no such murder case that has so many layers. You have dead former lovers, missing bodies of children in a field. You have zombies, you have spirits. There's so many interesting layers to this case that people can't stop watching.
Authorities in Arizona are also considering whether to file charges against Lori, this time for the death of her former husband and JJ's father, Charles. For Nightline, I'm Marcus Moore.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. Black and Bougie said that she will try to come back. Let's go ahead and continue on. So this next clip is still having to do with the Lori Daybell case. It's called Chandler PD submits charge against Lori Daybell in death of former husband Charles Ballo. And this is going to be courtesy of ABC 15 Arizona. And one second while I get it together. Oh yeah, this was posted May 27, so 2 days ago.
Major news tonight regarding Lori Vallow Daybell, accused in Idaho of murdering her two children, JJ and Tylee. Chandler police asking the Maricopa County Attorney's Office to charge Lori with conspiring to murder her ex-husband. Charles Vallow was shot and killed by Lori's brother in their Chandler home in the summer of 2019. And also new tonight, Lori's court hearings put on hold as questions surrounding her mental state arise. ABC 15's Claudia Rupsich breaking down these new developments and what they could mean for this case now moving forward.
He came at me with a bat.
On July 11th, 2019, Lori's brother Alex Cox shot and killed Lori's then husband Charles Vallow in their Chandler home. Cox claimed it was self-defense. No charges were filed.
I turned around and he hit me in the back of the head with a bat. So I went to my room and got my gun.
According to Chandler PD, Lori had always been a person of interest in the death. But before now, they never recommended she be charged in any way. That's now changed, and the Maricopa County Attorney's Office is reviewing the case. But a key person to talk to, Alex Cox, died a few months later of apparent natural causes.
So what's going on tonight?
As for Charles Vallow, 6 months before he was killed, he called Gilbert police saying he was worried about Lori and his children.
Today she said with Gabe on the phone, come take the kids. I don't care what happens to them.
Saying Lori was behaving erratically, withdrawing large amounts from their bank account and threatening his life.
How the house to say it? We're LDS. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a God, and remember the 144,000. She's come. Jesus is coming next year. She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
Lori and her new husband, Chad Daybell, are facing first-degree murder charges for the deaths of Lori's kids, 7-year-old JJ Vallow and 16-year-old Tylee Ryan. Their remains were found in June last year in Chad's backyard.
Court finds that there's some exigent circumstances.
Lori's initial appearance Wednesday was postponed. Thursday, we found out why. A judge issued a hold in Lori's case after she was found to be not competent to proceed, saying a mental evaluation was done and treatment was recommended.
She could be just stressed out or just having an incredible breakdown because of all the charges that now exist.
KTAR legal analyst and Valley attorney Monica Lindstrom says because the prosecution doesn't agree with the findings, the state will ask for its own evaluation.
They'll look to see if they can be treated or not and brought back to competency. And it's not an issue of whether they understand everything. They have to understand the charges against them, and they have to be able to help their attorney in their defense.
Okay, that will be all for today. Thanks everybody for appearing. We will be adjourned.
Claudia Rupsich, ABC 15 Arizona.
Yeah, I was about to say that. What do you mean just stressed out? The fucking guys, some of these people. All right, let's continue. We have one more video clip for the Lori Vallow coverage. It's called Lori Vallow Daybell ruled unfit for trial in murder case of 2 children, and this is courtesy of Good Morning America. This was posted yesterday, so let's go ahead and take a look after this skip ad. So one moment, please. They're dancing.
The latest on the so-called doomsday couple.
Oof. I do apologize for that buffering. I hope it fixes itself. I'm gonna leave it alone because I feel like if I mess with it, it's just gonna make it worse. Hey, at least I can now watch video clips without my screen glitching. I didn't even do anything different. I don't know if you guys can recall, but I am experiencing problems. Hold on. Maybe if I just start over. Let me, okay, here we go. Let's start from the beginning. I do apologize. You're buffering again. Cut that out. Let's wait. Let me try hitting play.
And what a judge decided about Lori Vallow, the mother who's been charged with killing her 2 children. Marcus Moore joins us with more this morning. Good morning, Marcus.
Michael, good morning. JJ and Tylee were missing for months before authorities found their bodies in a shallow grave in Idaho. And this morning, the legal team representing their mother, Lori Vallow, is raising concerns about her mental competency to stand trial.
Ms. Daybell is present here.
We saw Lori Vallow this week for the first time in months, appearing before a judge via Zoom on first-degree murder charges in the deaths of her 2 kids, JJ and Tylee. And this morning, her attorney arguing the woman seen in that feed is unfit to stand trial. The documents filed by her attorney stating, quote, the completed assessment determined that at this time, the defendant is not competent to proceed and recommends restorative treatment.
So was this somebody that was provided by the defense then, or like prosecution? Did they both agree on who would be evaluating her? That's one question I have at this time.
Prosecutors objecting to that evaluation. The judge halting proceedings for now, but has yet to make a final determination on whether proceedings will continue. So the agony persists for JJ and Tylee's grandparents, who've been desperate for answers since reporting them missing nearly 2 years ago, telling East Idaho News how they felt following the grand jury indictments.
It's like the world just stopped.
Just like it stopped.
It's like,
yeah. And it was a hard day for us, very hard day.
Now, new legal trouble may be brewing for Vallow. Prosecutors in Maricopa County, Arizona, now deciding whether Lori should face first-degree murder charges related to the death of her former husband, Charles Vallow, before her children were reported missing. He was killed by Lori's now deceased brother, Alex Cox, in what was originally ruled self-defense. And in a separate case, prosecutors have since named Alex Cox a co-conspirator in the death of Tammy Daybell, the former wife of Lori's husband, Chad, who died a few months after Charles Vallow. In the indictment,
Okay, it's buffering. Okay, so Alex Cox allegedly died of natural circumstances. I'm wondering if they've considered exhuming his body to make sure that that's true, because I find it very convenient that the quote-unquote family hitman died of natural causes before all of this could come to light. Black and Bougie says she just gave them to the grandparents. Oh, she could have just given them to the grandparents, right? And a lot of times with these cases, that seems to be something, you know what I mean? Like there's usually people around that are willing to assist. I guess they don't want to catch shit for putting themselves first and wanting to do certain things. I mean I can't get into that mentality. Black and Bougie says they're fucking serial killers. Exactly. They're able to methodically put all this into plan it and then put it into action, and then once they get into the court system, they're incompetent and they don't know what they're doing. It's fucking crazy.
authorities accused the couple of justifying the alleged murders because of their spiritual beliefs.
Ever since she's been involved in this doomsday cult, that is not the same Lori that we knew for 13 years.
No date or time has been set for that hearing to.
So now they have somebody putting responsibility to the doomsday cult, and I think that's gonna help her, because she could eventually, if she's not already, you know, implying or making it look like they're the ones who brainwashed her. Either way, some type of brainwashing happened, therefore she didn't know what she was doing, and therefore she might get away with this. And that would literally be the worst thing that possible, is if somehow, no matter what, she's found incompetent or whatever, and then she is released, because we've seen that happen before. Emmanuel Briggs says, right, just running around murdering people and going on vacations and shit. Right, exactly. Yeah, they need to stop saying that. Absolutely. Let's continue.
Discuss whether Vallow will stand trial, and with this is a case that has so many twists and turns, and the family's wait for answers clearly is not over.
Truly a disturbing case. All right, Marcus, thank you so much.
Alright, so let's go ahead and take that out of the playlist. We're down to our last two clips. This next one is a clip that I saw yesterday and is very disturbing. I'm going to go ahead and leave my advisory up, so everyone, discretion is advised. This clip is called, oops, my bad. Hold on, I got distracted. My dog made a sound. My bad. Alright, so it's called Man Punches 9-Year-Old Girl in the Face While Walking Home from School. So there is going to be some surveillance video, so please be aware.
Will just make you ill. A 9-year-old girl who was walking on a sidewalk with an adult relative sucker punched by a man who was walking by.
This is a story that you will see only on 2 tonight. Now listen to that little girl explain her confusion, not knowing why in the world someone would attack her.
I didn't understand why he punched me, and I was kind of confused, but then it started hurting, so I cried.
Like Dominique said, it doesn't matter if you're a parent or not. This story is already angering people who live in that Montrose neighborhood. The attacker is still out there. And tonight, that little girl and her family are sharing what happened and the hopes that the man is arrested and brought to justice.
Our Roseanne Aragon live along West Alabama near Mandel Street on the southern end of Montrose. Roseanne, this is incredibly disturbing.
Disturbing, disgusting, and can you imagine it happened while the girls were walking right here? A witness who saw it tells police they've seen that man before walking around the neighborhood, and now this family wants that man caught.
Helplessness.
Yvette Esquino's 9-year-old daughter Romina and 21-year-old niece Maria are practically sisters.
I love her so much, so it felt like really bad.
Because the duo's routine 10-minute walk home from school turned into a nightmare.
They were walking down West Alabama between Mandel and Dunleavy. There was a man in his 30s.
Here he is on surveillance video, May 26th, just before 5 p.m., approaching the two girls.
Screaming obscenities.
Passing Maria, and then
he turned and he punched my daughter with a closed fist in the cheek. Romina came to me to hug me, and I just yelled at him.
Then outrage.
Assaulting a child is just a whole nother level. I wanted to protect her.
And heartbreak.
I didn't understand why he punched me, and I was kind of confused, but then it started hurting, so I cried.
Esquino rushed over. A witness stopped to help and call police. Romina was hurt.
It's a 3-inch bruise.
Today,
Good, but my face still hurts.
Now, this 9-year-old's plea.
I want them to arrest him.
And
for others to be aware in our neighborhood and to have a watchful eye.
Now, the family described that suspect as a man in his 30s with wearing all black with a dark blonde, shaggy, chin-length hair and a short, dark blonde beard. Anyone with information is asked to call Houston police. Reporting live tonight from Montrose, Roseanne Aragon,
Okay, what I wanted to ask everybody real quick. First, I wanted to mention that Black and Bougie said, where's her dad? He needs to be on the hunt. I wanted to ask you all, what do you think would happen if the girl that she was with somebody else, and then after punching the little girl, they went after the guy, because the guy just walked right off. They went after the guy, turned him around, hit him back. Would that be like assault on him even after he punched the little girl? Because that's what I was picturing in my head. I was like, if I was there, if I was walking my little sister or whatever, first of all, she would have been right next to me. We would have been holding hands. No judgment, but that's just what I think. That also was something to think about, is how come they were walking at such a long distance. But if somebody would have punched not just my sister, but anybody, any little child, and I got in my feelings and became so overwhelmed with emotion that I decided to go after the guy and retaliate, would I get charges brought on me now since the guy was walking away? Because that seems to be how the law works nowadays. Emmanuel Briggs says that this is exactly why I never let my girls walk home from school when they were that young. Correct. Black and Bougie says, lately I've been scared to even walk past people, and this is why this world is fucked up. I feel that. Emmanuel Briggs says, but I understand everyone doesn't have that luxury. Yeah, like with the little girl that was almost kidnapped from the bus stop, when we saw that surveillance camera, that man that had grabbed her and tried to take her away. I really hope she's still not walking to the bus and waiting there by herself, but again, I don't know what the situation is. Maybe adults have to work, or, you know, things like that happen. Life happens. Daniel says, I carry mace on me. It's a good idea. And Black and Bougie says, I would have attacked him with all my might. Me too. That's what I was feeling. But I just kind of wonder the way the law works. How would they handle it at that point? Okay, so the next clip that we're going to watch is going to be the last one for today, because at any point my StreamYards is like messing up. This is a story that happened, I want to say earlier this week, maybe last week, and it involves a road rage incident and also a child death. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my viewer discretion advisory banner up. This is really sad if you haven't heard of it. Let's catch up with the comments real quick. Emmanuel Briggs says, no, you can use force to physically restrain someone after they have assaulted you. Okay, okay, that's good to know. Black and Bougie says, I'd like to beat him with a metal bat if you've got one, you know. From what I understand, legally, you gotta maybe also have a mitt, so you could say that you're on the way to the park to, you know, play baseball, because I guess if you're walking around with just a bat looking to retaliate with somebody, that might also cause legal issues. The system's just so fucked up. I literally have like no faith in it, so I do question a lot of, you know, how things get carried out. But yeah, so this next case happened in Southern California. It involves road rage and also a child death. There has been some surveillance that has been released, some footage of the vehicle that is, you know, that we are to be on the lookout for, because, you know, this is a really serious crime that has happened. So let's go ahead and watch this last clip for today.
Have you seen this car? It's the vehicle suspected of the deadly road rage shooting that killed 6-year-old Aiden Leos. The reward for information leading to an arrest, now more than $300,000. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter live for us in Orange County with new information tonight. Leanne.
Mark, it's unclear where that photo of the suspect vehicle came from, but what is clear is that investigators and Aiden's family are hoping it is the break in the case they've been waiting for. It's the critical new clue in the search for Aiden Leos's killer, a photo of the suspect's vehicle.
How are those people living with themselves right now? That's what's angering me. You know, I just don't get it. They're not going to get away with this. You know, one way or the other, they're going to get what is coming to them.
The car, described by the CHP as a 2018 or 19 white VW Golf Sport Wagon, the license plate unknown, the female driver and male passenger in the car. The deadly road rage shooting erupting last Friday as Aiden's mother was taking him to school.
I just hope whoever sees the car, or maybe who knows who owns it, will, come forward and, allow this family to have some peace and to, give justice to Aiden.
It's time to turn yourself in. It's time to understand that the longer this goes on, the less sympathetic I will be to understanding why you did what you did.
The heartbreaking case touching the community, public and private funding, pushing the reward to $310,000.
Thank you on behalf of me and my mother for all the support. Aiden gets to have a funeral as beautiful as he is.
Those gathering at the Growing Memorial above the 55 freeway near the spot where the 6-year-old was shot say they hope the new evidence will be the key to cracking the case.
I believe law enforcement is doing the best they can, their resources and what they've got available to them. I think they're doing a wonderful job trying to track down this person, our individual who's done this horrible thing in this community, and I hope they bring him to justice, because Aiden needs it.
That is certainly what so many people want. If you recognize that vehicle or you have any information in the case, you are urged to call the CHP.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
I wanted to go ahead and cover the comments that were on here. Amanda Brick says, ladies, keep an old school wire hanger with you. It's a very effective weapon for stopping an assault, and it's legal, and nothing's done someone worse than being struck in the face. So what, you just like smack someone, you just like strike them real fast? I should practice that. Black and Bougie says, Emmanuel, I keep my key between my fingers to jab someone's eye out. I do that. Black and Bougie says, this is tragic. It is tragic, and I really do hope that they find who did that, because it's just crazy to me that somebody can get so angry. So from what I understand, what happened is the vehicle that had the child in it was on the what do you call it, that lane where you have a passenger, and they were needing to exit, so somebody cut them off, and then a gesture was made, from what I understand, and so the other vehicle got behind them and then shot through the back of the vehicle, through the trunk, and the baby was sitting in the back seat on his chair seat, and he was shot in the stomach. And a lot of people are very upset about this. Personally, I know, because I posted a like breaking news whenever this happened, and I had a lot of views on that video, and it just let me know that there's a lot of people that are very affected by this and are looking out for who did it. I just hope that, somebody who has a similar car like that doesn't suffer any consequences if they're not responsible, because we know how people can sometimes be. Emmanuel Brick says, Bougie, that's good. My only issue with that is that if you have to get close, I like weapons that put distance between you and your attacker. Look into the defense whip. And then Black and Bougie says, that's true. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day, everybody. I just really want to appreciate everybody for their support. I will try to be back tomorrow, perhaps. If not, maybe on Monday. I think tomorrow's Sunday. So if not, maybe on Monday. I will see you all around. Thank you so much for being here and joining in on the discussion. It means a lot to me. I will see you all soon. So bye, everybody. Have a really good and safe and happy weekend, and happy whatever holiday it is. I don't even keep up with that stuff anymore. But everybody have fun and be safe, please. Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and screenshot it, and then I'm gonna also delete it just so that nobody sees it like on rewatch. Okay, Black and Bougie. So I got your email. Let me remove it. So you're not blocked or anything. I just deleted it so that nobody harasses you in the future. Okay. All right. So thank you, everybody. I will see you and talk to you soon. Thanks.